pushed. Right, let's get up the thingy in the background.
Push the button. The button has been pressed.
The button has been pressed. The button has been pressed. And let's load up World of Alterra. Just make sure we're live. And let's load up World of Alterra. We're live. Yep. Bit of feedback because I forgot to mute it. But yeah, we're all good to go. We're on the starting screen. Someone's got the thing unmuted though. I think
I can't hear anything.
That or I'm somehow coming through your microphone again.
No, nobody's going green right now when nobody's talking.
Oh, when I'm talking, you're going green.
On your end?
Yeah.
1 second.
Testing, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. Testing, 1 2 3. La 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 la.
No, that's fine. It's not going green on Chris now.
That's because Chris was muted.
Yeah, I was more seeing if the feedback was still happening, and if it is on my end.
It's definitely on your end.
Ooh, interesting. Apparently the sound coming up my headset is picking up on my microphone. 1 second, let me quiet you guys. You guys are just too loud. Explain why you're all screaming in my ear.
I mean, I can understand it for Wolfie, but for me, no, not so much.
Yeah.
Okay, how's that? You still hearing feedback?
Testing, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3. No, we're good.
Alright, so apparently I just had my mic too close to my face and too close to my headset. So you guys were actually coming out of the headset into the mic.
That was me.
Ah.
Just getting Twitch on.
No worries.
Okay,
how's look good?
Yeah, seems fine.
We've got 2 viewers now.
Yeah, it's not picking up any feedback. We've got 2 viewers. One of them is me. One of them is you. Not including broadcaster because it's not actually picking that up. I don't think.
Yeah, it picks up the broadcaster. It will pick up me, so the other one will be me. That way I can monitor chat.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
hilariously, the one time I needed to monitor chat when Wolfie came into the chat, I just didn't see him for like half an hour.
Yeah.
Because nobody was paying attention to it. Which is quite funny.
I would love to have a third screen just so I can have that as like my stream screen. Stream screen is very hard to say.
Yeah, I've got into the habit of
after a couple of drinks in.
Yeah.
Splitting my leftmost screen between the Twitch and my notes.
Because essentially my main screen is where I have my character sheet and stuff. Second screen is where I have the Alterra screen. So for like the actual Roll20 screen. And then I need another screen to put the actual stream elements, so I can keep an eye on that elsewhere. I mean, I think Bob, he's got the 2 PCs. One of them is streaming, so his streaming PC is capturing video from his main PC and then sending that out. So he'll have his stream elements on that, and then he'll have the 2 screens on his main PC.
Lou, did we establish how long you were in the cult for before you decided to reform? Are we talking a short period, or is this like a lifetime deal? Have you been in the cult for like 10 years before you broke away?
It would have been a while.
Would have been a while? Do you have an idea of when you joined? Mostly flavor-wise, whether or not I set this, depending on which city I set this in.
I would have been like mid-teens.
Mid-teens, joined the cult, stuck around for like 10 years.
You know, the usual teenager stuff.
Wanting to rebel, join the cult.
Yep. You guys would have been concurrent then with the main timeline, so I think that would just about make it for you to actually be back in Bloodraven before the fall. Okay, I'll set it in Bloodraven. Makes sense for so many kobolds. It's not like there's that much kobolds in Bloodraven.
I mean, if there's a little party of them trying to join the cult, that's kind of uncommon then.
I mean, they're a minor population in Bloodraven, maybe about 2-3% of the population, and there's to be fair, it makes sense though that they'd flock there in a second as I describe Bloodraven. But first, hello everyone, welcome back to the world of Alterra for today's one shot, Lou Grimm's Beginner's Guide to the Cult of Control. We take a break from our usual broadcasting for what will hopefully be a nice tight 3 to 3.5 hour session, single episode one shot, where the party will either die at the end or join a cult.
Or face against the door and die.
In terms of the timelines, we head back roughly 10 years into the past. Back when, well, maybe not 10 years. Let's go 5 years back, because this is being when Lou is still pretty high-ranking member of the cult, given that you would have been about level 6 to 8 before you broke away to join the party. I do like that you joined the party and got put to another world like a year after you left the cult. Which I think is quite funny.
Escapism, you know?
Yep. We return to the city of Bloodraven, the westmost city in the continent of Eros, a fog-strewn, cobblestone-lined, London-inspired city on the edge of darkness, next to the cursed swamps, and ruled over by the tyrant lord, Lord Black himself, an ancient black dragon. Which is why we see various pilgrimages from kobolds wanting to honor him for some reason. The city that is heralded as a hotbed of cult activity and is ruled over by the 4 families. From the outside perceived to be regular, just families of power. In the undercurrent of society, rumors spiral that the 4 families are actually of a monstrous nature and origin, with them being apparently families of lycanthropes, vampirism, cult activity, and witchcraft. So I try to remember my own lore from like 4 years ago. But as we have a bird eye view of this city, we dive deeper into the underground of the city, beneath the sewers where caverns are strewn throughout the land, and we find ourselves in a small dark green room with 10 hovering statues towering and looking down on a huddled and a few quivering mass of young cult initiatives. Or initiatives?
Yeah, initiatives, yeah.
What? As up on a balcony, standing and hovering over a massive, what appears to be almost gargoylean face, with a open maw leading into the chambers deeper into the complex, is Lou Grimm himself and his senior cultist assistants, as he is a high-ranking member of the cult itself. As you look down onto the latest batch, and you remember this day, Lou, all those years ago when you too first joined the cult and had to prove yourself that you had the aptitude, capabilities, and fortitude to actually be part of such a... Well, I don't know, Lou. At this stage in your career, being that this is maybe a year or two before you actually left the cult, do you have any suspicions of the cult? Are you still fully drunk on the Kool-Aid? Is this a proud moment for you? Or is this a moment where you're starting to see a little bit of the light and starting to look down at the new cultists with a little bit of pity, not quite sure where you stand in the cult yourself?
Still drinking the Kool-Aid at this point.
Let's actually said this like 3-4 years back, yeah.
Still a proud moment in my life.
So proud moment, then you look down with beaming eyes on all the fresh-faced recruits. You wonder which ones this year will prove to be diamonds in the rough. You notice we have a large number of kobolds in today's selection. It's odd that the kobolds come and join the cult of control. Normally you're having to compete with them with the dragon cults.
It's Cobalt Friday, okay?
You wonder if maybe the kobolds are here for the right cult initiative. Or if they got lost on the way to the dragon cults.
We saw a crowd, we followed it.
But as we sweep down, and we'll give Lou a couple moments, a speech in a couple moments to like welcome the new recruits. I'll let Lou do as much or as little as you want there. We sweep down on the huddled mass itself, and we pick out three characters among the masses, the only ones who don't look like generic NPC no-name cultists. As we have a look first at... No, I've got this one down as Hammer. I don't know if that's pronounced. I don't know. Hammer, introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Tia, and today I will be playing Hammer, a kobold wizard, and all together old boy. Late in life, looking for some cult action.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
And Hammer, tell me, were you looking for the cult of control, or were you looking for the dragon cults when you came in?
Probably the dragon cult, but Hammer doesn't have the best eyesight. So
I don't know
he
why I find this.
saw other kobolds like, this must be the way.
So it's the other kobold's fault that you're here. I see. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we move on to the next character?
Not especially.
As we move on to Skrig.
Skrig.
Skrig
Skrig is Skrig is a good boy. Skrig likes things, saw things, and follow people, and now we're here.
I don't understand any of that, but hopefully the
He said
kobolds in the audience have.
Skrig is a good boy. He saw people, followed them. Now we're here.
I assume that just answers the next question of were you looking for the dragon cults or the cult of control? The answer is neither.
No, he just saw people, thought they looked friendly, and followed them.
Interesting. Okay. As we move then to our last but not least player, Tilif. How do I pronounce it?
Tea-leaf.
Tilif. Tell us about you.
Tea-leaf is a kobold rogue thief who likes gambling. He's there because he was given directions to a big gambling game. Got lost and thought this was the building.
Okay, so just to clarify, none of you were here for the cult of control. You have all accidentally ended up here.
Yep.
It was a sort of when in Rome thing.
Yep.
I mean, it checks out for Lou's cult, let's be honest. Like, the accidental cultist.
I mean, unless these people all knew that they were going to a cult, that accidentally joining seems to be the main thing.
Yeah, because you don't know it's a cult to begin with.
A lot of people in the cult think they're freedom fighters, hilariously. All right, Luke Grimm, as we look down on your new recruits, it seems like the last of the stragglers have thingied in, and you've closed the doors to the underground complex that you now stand in. One of the minor outposts for the Cult of Control's premises. You take the moment to let the atmosphere build as the cultists. You hear small whisperings in between them, but otherwise it's a relatively sparse and quiet area. The large ceilings cause any mumblings to eventually fade rather than echo back.
Skrig isn't being quiet in the slightest. He's just going around to everyone going, "Hello, Skrig, how are you? What's your name? How are you?" And just like constantly chattering at them. Like, trying to make them be his friend.
That's fair. Every single one of them moves away from you.
Cool. then he'll probably make his way over to the other kobolds.
Lou, how would you like to introduce or welcome the cultists?
Lou would stand there and gaze on the new recruits, as it were, and just take a couple of seconds to look through all of them and would then go on to say, it's like, my favorite time of year when I get to see who has the right stuff to do what I ask of them, and they shall reap the great rewards from control.
You do
So
so.
wait, is this actually Lou's cult, or did he just? I thought he accidentally joined it rather than accidentally created it.
No, he's just a senior ranking member though.
There.
He's ended up in the cult so long that he is now one of the and also because he is a tier 2 character, he has like a captain status in the cult now and is able to like run the various initiatives.
Lou knows shit, okay?
Lou is one of those employees who he's just been at the company the longest, and the company has a high turnover rate, so he's accidentally ended up into a senior position.
Yeah, that sounds right.
sheer just being there the longest.
Sheer unwillingness to die or inability to die.
And now every single person who's ever worked at a tech company for more than 4 years is like, no, yeah, that makes sense. Yep, that's how you end up in a senior role. You just end up not leaving after 2 years.
Put the time in, yeah.
Didn't even get promoted. It's just he ended up just getting a senior position by sheer
Default.
by sheer just the fact that he was the employee, the cultist there longest. But look, you turn to your fellow senior cultist who apparently I like to imagine were just there like 1 year less than you, and so they're your assistants now. And you're able to nod for them to give out the details, as you know you're there mostly for the inspiration and the passion. You leave all the busy and paperwork to your 2 assistants. After all, the only point of seniority
of course I'm going to
is
give them it.
you don't have to do the boring work.
Yeah.
We'll have your assistant, who I have as a mage person, so I'm just going to assume they're the clerical one. Step forward. Yes, but before you can join the cult of control, we must first test you in the 3 trials. We must test not only your aptitude for control, but also your intellect and guile, and most importantly, your fortitude. Do you have what it takes to join such a magnificent organization and prove yourself worthy of the great elder's gifts? Great power awaits you, but only for those who can survive.
Is he
So,
dragon
yes.
cult? Just looking around at the various cultists. They said dragon cult, yeah?
All of them just kind of glance at you, move away. They don't say no or anything, they just don't talk to you. Now, in order to test you, we will be splitting you off into teams of 3. So that way we may gauge not only how you work individually, but how you work as a collective. After all, control becomes in many forms. Now, I will be randomly selecting you. You 3 at the front. If you go through first, oh yes, and you 3, you go after, and yes, the 3 kobolds. If you go as a group. As one by one, split off into groups, you're each ushered through the large gargoylean mouth. Is there anything you would like to do while everyone is forming their groups and the first 2 groups are going through? You have a couple moments, as there's a couple moments in between each group, to discuss, to group up together, and to do anything before I transition into room 2.
Hello, Ashley, Mr. Boy. You be found?
What?
He said his name was Skreeg.
Ah! Hello, Skreek. Hello. I am Hammer.
I'm
I
Tea
don't
Leaf.
like how you say that.
Hello.
Hello, Tea Leaf. are you joining the dragon cult as well?
This is good. We're my friends.
Dragon Cup. I
Yes.
told the gamble game. 3 dragon ante.
No, dragon cult. This is why I'm here.
We're my friends.
The second group begins
Heal
going
now.
through the gargoyle's mouth.
Yes, we can be friends, all friends under one dragon.
I'm dragon.
Sounds, yes.
What did he say?
I'm
Oh,
dragon.
he's a dragon.
Ah,
Oh,
He says he's dragon.
he's dragging what?
He's
we're
a dragon.
big dragon. Big.
I think he said big. I don't know why.
He says he's a big dragon.
Oh, yes, you are. I'd like pinch your cheek. Oh, you're a big
You are.
dragon, aren't you?
Yes, you are.
Screeg is also a white kobold as well.
You're a big white dragon, aren't you?
he's. I'm assuming white kobolds are kind of rare. I don't know what the kobold lore is in this area.
They mostly come from the expanse, so they'd be more warm colors. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. See no reason why there would be white kobolds here.
Fair enough.
He's an albino.
Well, he does have red eyes as well, so.
Yep, he's an albino kobold.
I think my Uncle John was a white kobold. You don't see many of you around.
No. I. Grandma was dragon. I'm dragon.
Are you saying you're a very grey dragon? Is that what you're saying?
Great dragon. Great dragon.
Grace Dragon. Okay, your name is Grace Dragon. I understand.
I speak.
Who? Ice Pick?
Sir.
Can just see Screek crossing his arms and turning his head.
With that, the third group, you're ushered through the gargoyle's mouth into the first of the trials. People kind of forming a queue in their little groups behind you, and as you usher through, you find this wash of energy pulse over you, and find yourself entering very strangely into what appears to be a regular. Oh, this would have to be set in Akaba before I set this up. Change it all. You're not in Bloodraven. You're in Akaba because I forgot what the hell I set up for this. It's a couple of years later. You find yourself in a very lovely Akaba apartment. This is what happens when you do a one shot and forget the 3 details you need for the one shot. I also need to copy and paste your characters into here.
I don't think that skull was a dragon skull. It didn't look right. Very weird for a dragon cult.
No. Doesn't look like dragon skull.
I can understand why Screeg is annoying Hammer, because Screeg does have an intelligence of -1.
Yeah, I saw that.
Hammer is not annoyed. He's treating you as a simple child.
Fair. I mean, Screeg is probably, I don't know, whatever the kobold version of teenagers.
They're roughly the same ages,
I forget what the
I think. I
kobold
read
lifespan
that.
is.
60, I think.
So probably about
No,
13 or something.
they are long lived, but they don't usually last that lifespan.
I mean, just look at Spurt. If you watched Critical Role Season 2, you'd
Yeah,
get that.
no.
He's a kobold that lives for 7 days. The average lifespan of a kobold was 7 days in the group that Critical 9 found.
Fair
That's
enough.
Chris has to just quickly
Or was it 11 days? Something like that.
add some NPCs to this damn map. Like this.
Oh look, the Earth really is flat.
Unfortunately, this is also the highest resolution I can get of this damn map, so it's a little blurry.
That's fine.
That's not that bad.
So if you do have any questions about it, feel free to ask. But
A
you'll have time
massive
to.
carrot on the table.
It is a stuffed pig.
It looks like a massive carrot.
Yeah, agree to disagree. That's a huge carrot.
Ah, no Aragons. Damn it.
More concerned about the 4 pillows on the bed up here. Who sleeps with 4 pillows?
I mean,
Hey,
I'm
when
not
you're
gonna say anything.
when you're rich,
I mean,
why not?
4 kobolds.
I mean, I think I've got about 6 to 8 pillows on my bed.
Yeah, who's just sleeping with 4 pillows?
8.
Yeah.
Have 7 and split the difference.
I just imagine now you sleep just with them all wedged around you so you don't roll off the bed accidentally.
Basically, yeah.
Oh, hot damn.
Or if you do fall off the bed, you've got a soft landing.
Yeah.
Oh, I have fallen out of bed many times. I roll around a lot in my sleep for some reason.
Oh, I imagine it's to get away from all the fucking pillows that surround you.
Why do I keep falling out of bed? I've got all these pillows to keep me in.
It's like I'm being suffocated gently at night by these soft clouds. Every night, the same nightmare.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
either
you-
soft clouds or sheep.
You're dreaming of being a cat pawing at the clouds.
I mean, every now and then there's like the dreams about the giant marshmallows and they're chasing me and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Remember, if somebody asks you if you're a god,
Say yes.
Okay, there we go. Okay. Cool. So as you enter into what appears to be a very large and spacious Acabean apartment, you also look down and realize that each one of you appears to be in an ethereal outline, as in you are ever so slightly grayscale and transparent. As well as that, there is a large, not pulsing, but streaming cold blue light hovering over this central table here that appears to be a large stone table catered with not only tons of wine bottles in the center, but a plethora of food and delicacies and hors d'oeuvres surrounding the ring of stone.
That's the food.
There also appears to be other people in the room talking and conversing, but as you enter, you notice that none of them glance towards you. What would you like to do?
Skrieg is immediately enraptured by food.
You go over to the food, and as you take a swipe through one of them, your hand passes through as if you are a ghost.
Children, no food.
None of the NPCs in the room seems to hear you.
Well,
you just hear Skrieg just wandering around, just making that noise.
If I think we should investigate. Would you like to go left or right? We leave Squeak to, I don't know, by themselves.
I'll go right.
I'm going to head over to see what Charlotte is doing.
She appears to be browsing the books stacked on their sides on the cabinet table.
Are there any
Drawer,
books
set of
there?
drawers. It's not a bookshelf. It's like a set of drawers that they've stacked books on top of.
All right.
So I was just trying to find the word for set of drawers.
Ah.
It's like one of those like
Chest of
like
drawers.
lounge. Yeah, it's like one of those lounge doors you have out in like the hallways.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't register my presence when I'm next to her.
She does not.
Can I try and touch her hand?
You can do so. It passes right through.
Okay, that was weird. I'm gonna try and float through the wall.
You do so. You succeed.
I've always wanted to be a ghost. I'm just gonna keep passing through stuff. Just as I'm taking a quick circle of the apartment, just unnecessarily flying through items whenever there's a chance.
That's
Taking
fair.
a big circle.
Talif, what are you doing?
I'm gonna have a look at this thing.
Big skull thing.
The skull. Let's
Yeah.
see. That would be. I'm trying to think what animal is a native to the area that would be prominent to have. Give me a nature check. Actually, are you proficient with nature?
No.
Give me a nature check anyway. And this will slightly adjust what information you're able to get.
14.
You know it's definitely not a dragon skull or any sort of draconic skull in general. It seems to have far too long and too strange a structure to it. However, you aren't entirely sure what creature this would belong to. You are not proficient enough with nature to guess the correct or gauge the correct animal. But you know it's not a dragon.
It's a start.
Would the party like to do anything else?
So
While-
Screed getting, I was gonna say, Screed getting annoyed that he can't grab anything is gonna activate his detect magic.
You do so. Everything in the room is magic, and detect magic gives you the school, correct?
Should do, yes.
Everything in the room is illusion.
Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck!
Let's go with the giant glowing ball hovering above the table as divination as well.
Okay.
That's
He's
slightly
just wandering around, just making angry kobold noises.
All right, you do so. Hammer.
I'm just gonna cast Mage Hand up here to see if I can interact with anything with a spectral Mage Hand.
You cast Mage Hand, but it too similarly seems to just sweep through the illusion as if it's not there.
Well, then I'm just gonna rifle through the drawers and see if there's anything interesting.
You are unable to open the drawers.
Yeah, but I can stick my head through the top.
You can. You
I don't
do
need to
so.
open them to
You
look
rifle.
inside anymore.
Rifle through them. It's pitch black inside the drawers. Do you have dark vision?
Yes.
Then you see various items inside the room that are not worth me giving you a description of.
Fair enough. Then I will continue floating through the bed like a weird ghost. Eventually coming back through the piano. This is fun. I like being a ghost. Creek, have you found anything?
I found a skull. It's not dragon, but I don't know what it is.
I've currently
But
got
no
enough for
dragon.
Chris, so
Okay. So a skull and we're ghosts.
Every single fake. They're fake.
This
See
fake?
the God.
Everybody is fake, or just everything is fake?
Everything's fake.
I'm going to assume you said everything is fake there.
Good thing we don't have an audience because you'd be killing them.
Just going to try and shoot a firebolt at the big carrot.
You do so. It goes through the carrot.
in that, seeing that you fired a firebolt at the carrot, Screeg lets loose an Eldritch Blast at the big thing in the sky.
As you do so, it seems to bounce off a reflective, protective shield off it and hits an opposite wall.
Magnifique.
Can we all see the ball in the middle? Just Ken Screek can.
Nope, it's a giant, glowing, giving off a cold blue light orb that is floating about 20 to 25 feet off the ground, hovering above the stone table.
Oh, Screek, you think we destroy the ball, we get free? We pass the test?
Maybe.
Take my time and walk through all of the people just to see if any of them react.
You do so. None of them react. They all continue going about their lives as if you are not there.
Just having a look through my stuff, see if there's anything that Screed can do apart from the thing. Racial stuff, there's not much I can do there. No, he's just gonna let loose another couple of Eldritch Blasts into the thing then.
You do so. They bounce off, seemingly doing no harm.
Angry cobweb noises.
Do you want to try a more physical attack, maybe? If it's not magic, maybe we can, stab it.
Too hard.
I can run and jump and grab
Run.
onto it.
A lot you can't grab lies.
I run and jump. Because I have second story work.
That's more of a climbing speed thing rather than.
It says, and when you make a running jump, the distance you cover increases by plus 4 feet.
Fair. What's your thing that's based off your strength score?
Oh, that's like 9.
So that would be 13 foot then.
You too can jump 13 foot if you try hard enough. 25 feet is probably too big for a building. It's me doing dungeon things again. What the hell is a normal
an
A
flat size?
room probably about 8 to 10
Like
foot,
8?
I would have said. Maybe 12 foot.
Yeah, that's they have high ceilings because they're rich. So I'm gonna say they have like a 12-foot ceiling for some god bloody reason. And let's put that down to 8 foot because I did not scale that properly. This is supposed to be an actual like living house,
Yeah.
not a high ceiling dungeon. Or like a giant, weird, imposing cult chamber. The ball is going to be 8 feet above the ground because Chris was still on dungeon scaling, not house scaling.
In that case, Screeg would also jump up and whack it with his longsword. He's also going to put a green flame blade on it as well to get a bit of fire damage.
You do so. As you whack into it, your blade is repulsed from it, doing no harm.
I make an Arcana check about it.
Yeah, go ahead, make me an Arcana check. Are you proficient with Arcana?
Yes.
All right, so you'll have a bit more knowledge of this. This, from what you can tell, appears to be a highly or incredibly high level magic of some variety. It seems to be both projecting the illusion in the room, but it also seems to have alternative controls to it as well.
Alternative controls.
Yeah, there seems to be, as you kind of reach out of your mind, you can feel that there is almost like an open port to the magic. Normally, with these sort of magic items, you have to attune to it, and then you have a mental connection to it in order to activate and deactivate the magic. But with this magic item, it appears to have almost a unlocked attunement access port to it, where as you reach out with your high level arcana, you know just the right feeling to find that there is an activation command for the object that anyone can access if they know to look for it.
Can I
I
switch it
sense that
off?
it's musical because I'm seeing a lot of instruments.
What was that, Hammer?
Can I try and turn it off?
There is no on or off. There is just an activation. So there's just
There's
a
not
little.
a deactivation.
There is a there for there is the mental equivalent of a big red button.
I hit the button. If
You do
presented
so.
with big red button, button gets hit.
Well, a mental red button.
Yeah.
How your mind can perceive that is up to you.
Big red button.
As you do so, suddenly the room around you goes into slow motion and then crawls to a stop. And then suddenly the entire room starts to unwind, all of the NPCs walking backwards in motion until your party unaffected, the entire room is reverted back to the moment you walked in. All the NPCs in their original positions.
You broke it.
That's a bit weird.
You broke town.
Oh, I don't think we broke time yet. Okay. So this rewinds time. So somebody is doing something in this room that we should be aware of. Okay. Everybody, I don't know, grab a rando and follow them and see what they do. I'm going to take this guy down here.
Abal? Or Nazal?
Abal.
I'll take Dr. Gorgeous.
I'll take nozzle or nozzle.
Nozal.
Him and all.
So Hammer and Ball are just going to follow each other around.
All right, you do so. For the first half an hour, well, actually, how long are you following them for? You talking a couple minutes?
Yeah. Squeaky's just been told to follow them, so he's following them.
Probably a good 20 minutes just to see if anything perks the interest.
That's fair. Well, let's say for the first 5 to 10 minutes, they appear to just be kind of casually talking out into the room. Nozal is leaning back on the couch with his feet up on the table. This, what appears to be silver-haired human, but there definitely appears to be some form of elven ancestry there. Probably a couple generations back, but it was definitely there. You can see the ever so slight kind of point on the tip of the rounded ears. And the hair itself is a trademark of elven ancestry. But he is sitting back with what appears to be a harness on his kind of around his chest and down to his hips, with what appears to be a large spell book hanging in the harness itself, as well as several wands lining what appears to almost be like a gun holster at his hip, but with a silver-tipped wand instead. And he is kind of just casually going on with kind of what appears to just be chit-chat to Dr. Gorgonis of, I must say, Gorgonis, you know, for an elf, you've certainly acquired an Acabean taste for decoration. I expected there to be more statues in the place. As we switch you back to Skreeg, Dr. Gorganis is kind of resting this, what appears to be... What sub-race was Gorgonis again? I think he is a high elf. Yeah, we'll go with high elf for now, because he's not one of the dark elves. Gorganis is this high elf with beautiful blonde golden hair, kind of falling down to just below his shoulders, as he's resting with one hand on the large metal frame of what appears to be a huge Dyson sphere. With what appears to be the Dyson sphere appears to be almost semi-transparent, and you can see labelings and inner rings and inner mechanisms inside it, almost like a bronze. What do you call the planar like moving pieces things? There's a proper name to it. Who knows?
Um,
One of those things.
the ring or something.
Yeah, they have like
the
a
rings
fancy
are
name to it.
usually either made from gas or meteors.
No, I mean like a metal, like solar. There's a proper name to the actual like what the metal things are called. Don't worry about it. It's a giant set of metallic rings that represent the Alterra main sphere. As he currently just standing out, and he kind of shoots Nozel this kind of disgruntled or dissatisfied look. There's definitely a bit of annoyance, and you can kind of see his eye kind of twitch a little bit at the side. Well, yes, Nozel. But, you know, there's so few true elven decorations left now that... And I found it's easier to have company over when there's decorations more to the liking of the cosmopolitan nature of Akaba. Kind of giving a snide remark back. As we move down to Hammer, Abel appears to just be... He's got one eye on the conversation looking out into the room. He's definitely positioned himself to look out there. He's quite reasonably tall. What appears to be... actually, he's what appears to be a kind of aged, maybe half-elf or maybe a full elf. You're not quite sure there. His ears are covered by this short white hair, and he appears to be slightly crouched a little bit. He appears to be quite old as well. You can see wrinkles under his eyes as he currently just seems to be listening and nodding, but you can see one of his eyes twitching back into the room behind him, kind of glancing periodically at differing things as if he's kind of just having a little peek as to what's in the room itself without obviously going in and looking into it. But the conversation continues for 5-10 minutes as, well, your characters don't seem to be those known for their patience, so I'll head back to the characters of what would you like them to do?
Skreek, although he's been told to follow someone, has been getting very distracted by this cannon nearby. Because it's shiny, it looks fun. Wonders what it does. So every now and then he will like just wander off, have a look around the cannon for a couple of minutes, then head back over to the doctor.
All right. Hammer, what are you doing?
Because this guy is having such an interest in this room, I'm just going to... Everybody, I'm just going to reset it again, just to take a look around, okay? I'm going to reach out and reset the time again.
All right, there appears to be a proximity requirement, but walking up to the table itself, you're able to get within distance and activate the orb as the entire room begins spinning back after only 10-15 minutes. And you return to the starting position of the room.
Yeah, and then I'm going into this room to see what is obviously catching this guy's attention.
All right, as you're standing in the room, nothing happens.
No, but there's stuff in there.
You just said you were standing there, so would you like to look at something specifically?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. I'm rifling through everything I can fit my kobold face in.
All right, you do so. There appears to be a large number of stacked paper correspondence, some letters, various inks and quills, what appears to be large ledgers of numbers and various kind of what appears to be stacks of books here and there, and papers and maps and a whole variety of information, overwhelming to your little kobold brain. Are you looking for anything specifically?
Instructions.
Anything like time and spell related or illusion related?
Give me an investigation check. With your natural arcane, you'll be able to find anything of an arcane nature. 17. There's not a lot relating to the arcane here. There's a lot kind of tangential to the arcane, and you can definitely see one or two ledgers filled of spellcasting regiments, as well as a couple spell scrolls that appear to have been kind of maybe not so much hidden, but like placed for easy access, but still not obvious among the various books and scrolls. Presumably would be able to easily get if necessary without people realizing there are spell scrolls there, unless you're rifling through it like you are. Apart from that, there are a couple of what appear to be black notebooks that appear to be decorated with arcane glyphs and what appears to be study materials or scribblings of what you'd expect a wizard or a young wizard to have. They appear to be just kind of just going over arcane theory and trying to think of possibilities for new spells, or kind of you can see them scribbling connections and comments about how and for these notebooks they appear to be focused heavily on healing magic as well as magic that interacts with the mind, so psionic magic. And there appears to be a lot of medical notes as well, detailing various things about what the magic actually does in relation to healing the body. So, for example, what are the actual mechanisms of a cure wound? How does a cure wound actually work? As well as like details of how the biology might be interacting with the spell. And it goes on and on for what would be hours of reading if you were so inclined. But from a quick skim through, that's what you gauge.
Was his eyes focusing down this side or down this side to spooky tomb?
He appears to be glancing into the right of the room.
Okay. So that's what I'm doing just for a bit then.
All right. Talif, what are you doing?
I was going to have a look in here if I can get in that bit.
Maybe. What would you like to do? How would you like to get in?
I will come round and look for any kind of entryway.
There is no obvious door into this room. In fact, you're not actually. Your character would not be aware the room is there.
Ah, okay.
Unless you would like to give me a. Do you have proficiency of calligrapher? Not calligrapher. Cartographer's tools.
Ooh, can't remember if I went for that or not.
I feel like the answer is probably if
I
you didn't
don't
specifically
think
pick
so.
it, probably not. It's a very specific
It was the
tool
other
set.
character made that had calligraphy.
Then you are unaware that this room exists. Because it's not in your line of sight. So, back up over there. Gotta enforce some strict meta here.
Would I see these bookcases?
Yeah, if you just wanted to go into the room.
I'll have a look at them to see if there's any books that has a suggestion of what could be happening.
Yep, there are dozens upon dozens of books there as you scan the titles. They appear to be on not technically methodological creatures because there are actual real creatures in this world, but they appear to be based on various monstrosities. So there's books on chimeras and sphinxes, books on various other creatures that would be considered in our world not methodological. What the hell am I thinking of? Mysticological. Legend. A lot of legendary creatures.
Mythological is right, yeah. Mystical, mythological, legendary.
There we go. But nothing that stands out to you unless you know what you're looking for. You're essentially just in a library section of fantastical creatures.
On this run, Skreeg would have wandered out onto the... I'm assuming this is like a balcony sort of area?
Yes, it overlooks the... where would his house be? It overlooks part of the Akaba city.
Okay. And would probably see this person, Farana. Because Skreeg would have gotten bored by the doctor. He would have been talking big words and fancy words and not understood them.
Yes, sir.
So he's just like watching this person out here, seeing what they do.
That's fair. You watch as what appears to be a rather slim furball with this gorgeous copper hair is currently just what appears to be maybe not rifling through the plants themselves, but appears to be like bending over and like casually like caressing the plants, kind of straightening out leaves and vines here and there. You can occasionally see them kind of dip their finger in the dirt and make like a tutting noise as they pull out a little flask and kind of water here and there, as they seem to just be enjoying the nature plant bed.
Scree would look around, see if he can find a hose.
There are no hoses in this fantasy world.
Or like a bucket of water or something.
Probably not out on the balcony. You look around and don't see anything of that nature.
But Screeg is gonna sit out here and vent to Farana or whatever their name is. That everything's fake. You can't eat the food. The doctor's talking big fancy words. Didn't understand him, and just constantly talk to this person even though they can't hear him.
That's fair.
Just gonna go over to D-Leaf for a second. Like, D-Leaf, do you mind if I try something?
Yes, sure, go ahead.
I shove you, just to see if I can touch you.
That was a good question. Can you touch them? I guess yes. I don't think it matters, but
Something the DM didn't plan for.
As Tea Leaf sees a hand or however Hammer's trying to touch him, he sort of recoils slightly, thinking he's just like attacking him for no reason.
I'm gonna just keep moving forward to try and push him, man.
So I shuffle back out the way.
Can I roll a dexterity check to see if I trip?
are you just trying to find a meta way into this cult room?
No.
Great, you I'm just gonna move you away from this room now, you damn cheaters. Go on, get out of there. You want access to the room, you can do it properly.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go look at what Pronghorn is doing.
Pronghorn is salivating over the food and appears to be trying a little bit of everything, as well as drinking entire wine bottles.
So he can consume.
Yes, they can interact with their environment because they're part of the simulation. Yes. It's like you guys have not watched how, like, holograms work. The hologram can interact with the hologram. Yes. That's how this works. Prongo is occasionally munching on things and calling back to Charlotte to like try various things, and she appears to be giving him kind of just complimentary. Oh yes, dear. In a second, I'm just having a look. What kind of just like placating him, but not wanting to actually engage. But he is very boisterously and happily kind of just chowing down on everything when Ozal and Dr. Gorganis are having their spit for spat back and forth with each other. Would you like to do anything else, Hammer?
No, not yet. Yeah, not yet, no. Well, actually, fellow kobolds, Squeak, Tea Leaf, let's have a quick meeting.
Yeah.
So, it appears we're stuck in an illusion at the moment.
Ah.
And I hate to say it, but we can reverse time back to this, but that's it. Does anybody have an idea? Or has anybody noticed anything a bit weird?
Now they're just burning people. They said big words. Kill all those, Fender. La plants.
I
So
know
you're
the
not
whole place weird.
okay. Does So we've got a big floaty blue ball and a lot of weird people.
Pretty much.
I want to say this isn't as dragon focused as I expected. I thought I studied hard on like dragons and what they like and dislike, and Akaba decor was not one of the things I looked into. So
No,
I'm a little bit lost.
no dragon.
I mean, no dragon yet.
Um, I'm just looking for my spell, see if there's anything Squeak can potentially do to like do something. Um,
Oh, like if nobody else has an idea, I'm just going to like. So, Chris, you said it was a high level spell, didn't you? Would I have an idea of how high the level would be?
Given it is a artifact, I don't know, 8th level.
Okay. So I'd need to roll an 18 to dispel it.
yeah,
Hmm.
it would be on your intelligence modifier though, or spellcasting modifier. I forget
Yeah,
how
which
it
is only a
works.
5.
Mm.
This is
I
a
mean,
spell attack.
it's not impossible.
No,
No, but I've only got two big spells of the day, so I don't really want to chuck them out in the first room.
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. I mean,
Can we get a vibe check from the like people in the room? Like, were they an adventuring party? Do we think like they know each other well from watching their interactions like a couple of times now?
Does any of you have proficiency with history?
no.
Yes.
Right, give me a history check.
Ah, so pissed.
That's fine. That's more than a
not
success.
bad.
Yeah, it's not high TC for these very famous people. Well, famous to the characters. The players have no idea who these people are, and I wouldn't expect them to. As you're looking around the room, it dawns on you that you've seen these people before. I mean, they're not particularly like forward-facing people, but anyone who kind of pays attention to Akaba's politics does recognize them. They aren't like celebrities, or for all intents and purposes, they're effectively politicians. But you recognize them as 6 of the representative members of Akaba's Council of 10. They represent various organizations in Akaba's oligarch government.
Hmm. The Squeak would be like,
Oh, the burn people. Vip. Vip.
Hammer starts looking around for a whip.
No, no, whip. Vip.
VIP. You
Yes,
say.
whip. Oh, I know. Still looking for a whip.
Oh, no, zip, no flip.
And then he'll like do a lightning law, like just is lightning law actually a whip or is it just something else?
I saw it as like an electric whip, so
Yeah,
yeah.
you lash lightning energy that strikes. Yeah, so it's like a sort of, it does like an electric whip.
Yes, like whip.
No, not flip, zip.
Tea Leaf, you seem to understand them more. What are they saying?
Well, I heard whip.
Angry cowboy noises.
Okay.
Skreeg. Oh, not. I meant to grab my character and not turn you. Skreeg is going to rummage around his bag. Seeing how there's like all these instruments in this corner. And pull out what looks like a sort of octopus. He puts it under his arm and then just starts blowing into one of his legs.
You do so. Does it sound good
so
or
it's a set of
horrifying?
bagpipes.
It's a set of bagpipes and it sounds terrible.
Then Hammer and Tea Leaf, you're the only one subjugated to this horrible noise.
Because Skreeg doesn't have proficiency in performance, but he does have a decent charisma. So it is a 19.
Ooh.
It's still bad, but it's at least semblance of a tune.
It's wild that charisma is related to playing musical instruments. I feel like I should make that an intelligence performance check.
It's the interaction with people, surely.
Yeah, I see charisma with it, yeah.
That
Because you're trying
That
to
is not-
captivate your audience.
that is not how charisma works.
And you play it badly, but you play it with such passion that people believe that it was played well.
Oh yeah, that part's fine. I just wouldn't relate to how you actually play the instrument. But anyway, continue.
So yeah, Skreeg's just in the corner playing a bagpipe now.
Alright, that's what he's doing.
He's also I don't know how he's doing it because lizards don't have lips.
No, it's a good thing a kobold isn't a lizard.
But they are.
No, but they're not.
They're
They're
think
dragons.
You're too busy playing Robin Hood again.
Yeah.
So, Robin Lock.
A dragon is not a lizard. They are a
Some
dragon.
people.
I mean, depending on what
You've
you
got the
going with,
bearded
yeah.
dragons. Anyway, this is off
So,
topic.
yeah. So, I'm going to suggest that we let maybe this interaction play its course and see what happens until it naturally resets. Does anybody have any better ideas? I would take that
No.
deafening cacophony from Squeak as a no.
No good
Yeah,
ideas.
Skreeg is just sat playing bagpipes, not paying attention to you guys anymore until something happens.
How long does the holograms go on for?
3 hours. Where you listen to Skreeg play bagpipes for 3 hours.
Or will you do something to try to stop him?
Honestly, you rolled a 19. I don't think it's that bad.
Oh no, it sounds awful. It's just Skreeg looks cute while doing it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
in
a,
that case,
like a child, like very happily playing their instrument. They're so delightful. It's like, oh, you can't stop them, even if it's absolute torture.
It's going.
They look so happy playing them.
At one point, the bag of it just deflates and he's just blowing into the pipe.
But as we all know, it doesn't matter how joyous the kid looks while playing bagpipes. There is a limit to the amount of time we will put up with a child playing bagpipes.
I mean,
Tea
anyone
Leaf
playing
is
bagpipes,
gonna-
really.
Is going to try and take like a part of the bagpipes off, like the chanter or something, so it won't play.
You can
Yeah, you
certainly
can,
try.
You can certainly try. I assume this will be a grapple check to try and grapple the bagpipes.
And I
Tea
was
Leaf,
thinking sleight of hand.
you gonna... Have you ever walked up to somebody playing the bagpipe and tried to like subtly like manipulate their bagpipes? I will let you try, but it will require like a godly DC, so go for it. Give me a sleight of hand checks, and I guess we'll do this again.
25.
What's Screek's passive perception?
Passive perception is 11.
Oh right, so apparently Tea Leaf is a master at dismantling bagpipes because they make the 25 DC. Without you ever realizing it, I also love the fact that your passive is so low that Screek's just kind of like standing behind you the entire time while just like a minute unthinking your bagpipes, you're just entirely unaware.
Yeah, because you're,
I'm
you're.
imagining the scene from Ghost, just
Yeah.
like reaching behind you and starts untoning stuff.
I mean, I'm assuming your passive sneak is something like 17 as well.
My sneak.
Yeah. So what's your modifier?
It's +7.
Yeah.
For
So
sleight
your
of hand.
passive. No, for your your sneak, not stealth. It's like
Oh, from stealth, it's +10.
Yeah. +10. So your
With
your
advantage.
yeah. So your passive stealth is 20.
9 higher than your passive perception. So anyway, you managed to dismantle the bagpipes without Screeg ever noticing somehow.
He's still playing it. Like he notices it, like the sound on it has changed, but he's still playing.
That sticks it out. He's had many grandchildren. He accepts this. I'm just constantly like walking around, just trying to keep a clock on people.
I have them move back after like the first half an hour.
Yeah, you don't want their legs seizing up.
Yep, not
I
at this
mean-
age.
After probably like the first hour of the hologram, Screeg would get bored of the bagpipes and start trying to play on the piano.
To be fair, the NPCs like shift about every half an hour. Because there is like undercurrent plot going on. I just want to see how long it takes you guys to like be driven mad.
I mean, yeah.
But after the first half an hour, Nozal appears to be the first one to move. As I go into just explaining each of their movements and what's happening, since presumably you're trying to keep an eye on the scene while also dealing with Scragg's distraction. Hammer, actually, what is your passive perception? Because you are getting a disadvantage because of Screeg.
Let me scream. Passive perception is 16.
16, so that goes down to 11. So you do eventually realize that they've moved, but Nozell like moves back into the other room, and you don't catch it for like a solid 2 to 3 minutes. So you don't catch any mumbling or anything of what he's doing, and it's not until Gorgonis actually kind of like begins moving across the room, and also following Nozell, that you finally realize of, oh shit, something is happening, and are able to like go and view what is happening. But you miss a solid couple minutes of whatever prompted or caused Nozell to go into the southern room because of Scree's constant bagpiping. At the same time, Tea Leaf and Screeg, you also see Pronghorn run out of the room north, losing line of sight of him unless you would like to follow, as well as Charlotte crossing the room as Farana comes in. Farana kind of looking and now checking all the plants inside the house. Charlotte going over and kind of looking at this bookcase on the south while also seeming having a conversation with Farana that neither of you can hear over Screek's bagpipes, given your distance. And Tea Leaf is currently unthinging the bagpipes. Screeg and Tea Leaf, would you like to do anything or continue bagpiping for you're half an hour into the show, or into
Um,
the hologram.
so, yeah, after about half hour to 45 minutes of playing, he would get bored. Then probably put the bagpipes away. Like I say, try playing on the pianos. Notice that people have gone into that room over there, and probably just start wandering over as well.
That's fair. Tea Leaf, are you following suit?
Yes.
Gonna move your character over to them. Uh,
Sure, I saw it move.
that's because I just moved it.
No, before you said move your character.
Ah,
Could
weird.
have sworn I did, but never mind.
As you all follow up, Dr. Organa seems to be questioning Nozel as to what he's doing, while Nozel is currently just thinking through the bookcase. Abel is watching this while slowly like taking his steps back and into the rest of the room. Still, his eyes constantly focus on Gungonis and Nozel, but like slowly moving further and further back into the room. Gorganis' question of, Nozel, why are you rifling through... This would be like a high elf now. God, why'd I have to pick the two most pompous characters in the council? Needs to somehow distinguish them. Dr. Gorganis has a bit more of a medical sound voice to him. Nozel, what are you doing rifling through my books? Come back in and enjoy the feast. After all, I did invite you, didn't I? Surely that's enough. Have I insulted your pride by not inviting you first, or some nonsense? Oh, Gorgonis. I'm simply judging your collection. There's nothing to worry about. Unless there is something to worry about, Gorgonis. You're not trying to distract or keep me from having a look at anything, are you? It is strange how this apartment is oriented, isn't it? Especially since all the plumbing appears to be the north of the building. Fascinating, then. Alright, Gorgonis, if you'll stop staring at me, I'll come back to the party. By the way, your book collection is rubbish. As Gorgonis manages to chase Nozel out. Abel now like 4 steps back, and just as the two kind of lose line of sight, begins kind of just slowly moving like documents on the table and glancing down at it while still trying to like pretend to be looking at like the southernmost bookcase. Apparently just like
Watching
taking
exactly what
glances.
he's doing.
He appears to be doing what you were doing previously, only he wasn't invisible or in the hologram. And he is just kind of like glancing down at pieces of paper. But let's go around each of the party members as the room begins to kind of move it back out again. Hammer, you are watching Abel as he is going about and kind of just slowly thinking through the piece of paper. You can see his eye constantly twitching back to the door frame to see if any of the other members of the party are coming into what appears to be the study area. Screg and Tea Leaf, what are you two up to?
So Skreeg is, he's watching the two guys playing around. He's just like running around these bookcases now. He's probably going to run through one accidentally.
Well, why would you run through one accidentally?
I don't
You
know,
damn players trying to meta into this room.
I don't know. He'd probably trip or something. He's an idiot.
Well, why doesn't he trip over here then?
He might trip over there. He might trip in several places.
All right, roll me a fate roll. Let's let fate decide.
Okay.
If you get a 18 to 20, I'll let you fate roll into the damn room.
No.
Otherwise, you trip over there. Oh no, you tripped unrelated to this room that the players are aware of that the characters aren't. Oh, what a shame. Tea Leaf, what are you up to? While Screg is just running around the room and trips just randomly in the middle.
Well, I can't do what I was gonna try. Because apparently there's like rules.
You gotta earn your damn meta knowledge.
Doesn't Skreek have meta magic?
It's got some, yeah, but
We both know that's unrelated.
Is this open?
Those are tables with things on them.
Yeah, they're tables. I thought they might have been chests.
They're tables with things on them. There appears to be a statue on that one.
I will have a look at the statue.
Oh, you do so. It appears to be a what would Dr. Gargant? He's pretty much just picked up and garnished this place with whatever he could find. The statue appears to be that of a recreation of a Balor's head. Only there is a large kind of scar across the face of the Balor. Underneath it, there's a little plaque that says, "He who tried to take Aqaba will fall to the heroes."
Okay.
Do you have proficiency of history?
No.
Well, this was a common event, so the DC will be higher, but roll me a history check if you'd like to know what this relates to. Who knows? Who knows? You know nothing about Aqaba's history.
Some battle. That
Yeah,
may
some
not
battle.
happen.
Hilariously, I think the players might actually know what the characters don't, just because how much James bloody talks about stuff.
Which means we may not know.
But anyway, let's see here. Abel should be doing something because of who the hell Abel is. The old git. Trying to think what form this takes. He would want something inconspicuous as well, though, just in case he did get caught. So let's have this be a little mechanical thing. I feel like he has access to that. Hammer, as you're watching Abel and as he's kind of thinking around, he hears a call from Gorganis calling out, "Abel, where have you gotten to?" As Abel kind of glances back and just kind of, you can see his mouth kind of turn up in annoyance as he kind of holds up his arm and takes his other arm and kind of like pulls on his baggy sleeves, and kind of coming out of the sleeves are these very small four-legged what appear to be almost, maybe not so much spiders, but almost like little four-legged pincer creatures with a single mechanical eyeball on them that scutter across the table and out of line of sight as he turns back and starts hurriedly walking into line of sight before slowing down again. Oh, I was having a look at the bookcases as well. Impressive collection. Not as impressive as mine, dear doctor, but I give you props. As he walks out, Hammer, you are able to witness as several of the mechanical drones appear to be rifling, going into the inner depths of the bookcases, currently unscrolling and like opening books and just like scanning them. As they do that for a long time. There's a lot of books here.
I'm going to go over to Skreeg. They said something weird. They said something about the plumbing. Why would they know? Why would they care about the plumbing here?
I mean, they're probably poop.
And I'm going to just start looking around for any drinks or sources of water, because I mean, Akbar is desert-ish. So I imagine having water
Aqaba is a desert. Salarin is desert.
So, but it's more a hot climate.
It's not even hot climate. It's actually like a subtle windy plains. Aqaba is just south of the Gaia Mountains and north of the desert, and is inhabits the green plains of the Aqaba
It's
safety
more a
zone.
dry place.
It's not a dry place at all. Like I said, it's like Scottish climate.
Okay, I had
So it's a wet place.
very different mental image of where Aqaba was then. In my head, it was desert
Is it because
Egypt
is it
kind
because
of
it
thing.
sounds like Agrabah?
It really is. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna. They said mention something about the plumbing, so I'm just gonna go find where the plumbing is, because that was weird. So, gonna go. I'm gonna listen at the door to hear if anything's going on first, and then ghost my way through. Because I don't want to watch somebody on the toilet.
Yeah, that's just rude.
This would be coming in after the half an hour. Pronghorn is. You're gonna listen into the door. Let's see how long Pronghorn takes on the toilet.
Well, he's had a lot of wine and a few things to eat.
Yeah, but just nibbles. Does that count?
I mean, there's a big carrot there.
He
Could have been
appears to
more
be
than one.
sitting half up. He's gonna be there for 19 minutes, so he's there. He's also single-handedly eating like half the food so far. However, as you put an ear to the door, you just hear what appears to be relatively large. Oh, worth it. That goes on for some time, for 19 minutes apparently. What would you like to do?
Honestly, think I would
I've also
wait
put-
outside until I hear him moving, like moving, leaving, not anything else.
That's fair enough. I've also put a map of Eros into the chat. Aqaba is the center there of the grassy plains. Look at that lovely green, nice, mellow climate.
Yeah, I was thinking Aladdin.
Yeah.
That is fine. Hilariously, that wasn't actually even one of the inspirations for it. That was an inspiration for Salarin.
I think it's mainly because of the name. That
Yeah.
It's named after the Japanese district.
Akiba.
For the life of me, Akiba. It's actually named after that instead of the Aladdin inspiration. But we'll come back to Hammer then in a second, as I assume you've stopped listening to Pronghorn at this point. Who is living up to his name?
A bit.
We head back down then to Skrig and Tealif. What are the two of you doing before we advance to the 19 minutes, since I'll be bringing up to the first hour of the hologram?
Who was that directed to, sorry? Or was that to me?
Skrig and Tealif, yes.
Both of us.
So Skrig would... when Skrig fell over, he's doing the Family Guy sort of thing, holding his knee. And yeah, just thinking, I mean, Skrig would have heard them be interested in these bookshelves as well, so he would look over them just to see if there's anything that jumps out at him.
What is Skrig's background?
Skrig's background is it's an athlete.
Right, and I don't think there's a proficiency of mythological creatures, so no, nothing stands out to you. It's just a bunch of books.
Yeah. So he speaks common, deep speech, draconic, and undercommon. See if there's anything like those there.
Nope, just a bunch of books written in common. Yep, plenty of books. Look at all those books.
Are there any books about dragons?
Nope. They are not mythological creatures in this world.
Fair. So he'd probably just wonder.
They're not monstrosities. That's fair, you do so. Tealif, what are you doing? You're having a look at the statue. There appears to be a little totem pole to the left of it, and two statues of fish to the left of that.
I'll have a look at the totem pole.
You do so. I don't think I have anything special for the totem pole. It was just a decoration piece. It appears to be a lovely totem pole with inscribed with various words written in Primordial. Do you read Primordial?
Oh, I don't think I do. No, common, draconic, infernal, and thieves can, but not from Alterra.
And it just seems to have strange scratching into it. Otherwise, it looks like a very lovely art piece. Would you like to do anything else, Tealith?
You said there was like statues of fish.
Yes, there are next to it.
I'll take a look at them.
All right, give me a nature check.
Oh, nature. Geez.
They look like two lovely fish in high quality detail. They appear to have almost a shimmering
14.
scale to
Yeah.
them. You recognize
Probably not.
these as Fantasian Fish. They are actually a common nuisance to Akaba in the Akabian River. Or not the Ashma River. They are common during the spring and summer months where the boundaries between Akaba and Eros and Fantasia are the weakest. And occasionally we get schools of Fantasian fish that cross over from Fantasia into Eros, and they end up occasionally causing several charming problems that resolving drowning people by hypnotizing people to come into the water with them, almost silky-like. Generally, it's not too bad, and a lot of Akaba knows how to swim, but there has been instances where travelers who didn't know how to swim have ended up drowning as a result of these fish. There's also occasionally bounties for them during the high months if their numbers get too populous.
Just thinking. Yeah.
But as we go back then to Hammer, you see the door to the bathroom open, and Pronghorn, with a very satisfied look on his face, kind of stretch up and begins kind of just walking down the room with a bit of jaunt to his step. Ah, yes. I hope there's still more of that giant carrot left.
I remember when I was regular.
Hammer,
I'll
do you
go to
have
take a look.
proficiency with religion?
Yes, I do.
You recognize that Pronghorn, if I remember Pronghorn's character correctly, Burgundy Pronghorn. Has several tattoos. Yeah, there he is. I just have to remember which one is he a barbarian to. Okay. Pronghorn has a series of 7 tattoos crisscrossing his body that seems to be dedicated to each of the members of the Mika Pantheon. So that's the Pantheon of War. But that is just something you know as he's walking past. He seems to be covered in tattoos of the Mika Pantheon.
Weird guy.
Oh, he is also a Goliath.
Gonna investigate the bathroom.
Yeah, we can go in there. He's been in there for 19 minutes and he's a Goliath.
I don't think we could smell anything, so it should be fine.
No, you can hear, smell, everything in the hologram.
That seems
as you
unnecessarily
enter,
cool, but okay.
It's a very deep smell that makes you want to retreat from the bathroom.
Do you have prestidigitation?
You know, I don't think I do.
And actually, as you enter it, give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, Jesus.
He had a lot of that carrot.
Oh,
You feel nauseous and struggle to go any further into the bathroom, reflectively closing the door.
oh my god. Squeak!
Yeah.
Squeak!
Yeah?
I have something for you to investigate.
Ah.
At this point, I just want to see how long this can go on for.
I mean, did you really expect us to like figure this one out that quickly?
Oh no, there's to be fair to you guys, there's a vital piece of information missing that I'm deliberately holding back until you guys reach your endpoint because I just want to torture you a little bit.
And we know where it is.
Oh no, I'm just not gonna reveal anything though until I need to
That's
move
what
this.
I'm saying. We as players know where it is, but
Oh, it has nothing to do with the cult room, guys. It has nothing to do with the
Alright.
cult room. It's just there. It's part of the underlying story. It hasn't to do with like the over mechanics.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to see what you guys get up to. You're doing a surprising amount of stuff for having missing this vital information, and I just want to see how far you get.
Okay, Squeak.
Ah.
They mentioned something about the plumbing being weird. Can you
Uh-huh.
investigate the plumbing in these next rooms to see if there's anything odd?
Ah.
He's gonna walk in.
Back away from that door when it opens again.
Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Can't save. Da, 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 da.
A wall of oh god, you can't even describe it, hits you in the face as you suddenly have the condition of needing to flee as quickly as possible from this bathroom.
Cool. Yep. So he runs and like tries banging on the door, trying to walk through it.
Hammer, you just watch as Greek dashes past you and flees from your line of sight.
You said you were a great dragon. What kind of great dragon can't handle a smell?
Fragile have very good smell.
I'm just never going to understand that. Okay, right, I'm going to be 30 foot back. I'm going to be... If I can smell it, then I can dispel it. I'm just going to cast Mage Hand down there and start wafting it around vigorously to disperse it.
You do so. You
Get
do
your
so.
ambipure out.
I mean, you have like kind of missed one thing though. Most plumbing is under the floor. We're walking on the floor.
Who's that
True,
direction?
but the outlets are at the top, so that's where I'm looking first, because I'm not going to stick my head through the entire floor and go bit by bit.
I mean, depends on if we can actually stick our head through the floor.
You cannot.
You-
Same reason why if Squeak tries to go through the door, he bounces off it. You are unable to leave the black or the dark outline walls of the map.
In that case,
Because-
he's going to run across to the balcony.
You do so.
Try
For
jumping
anyone
over
who
the
wants
edge.
to try and jump off the balcony, there's also like an invisible force field on the balcony too. You can look over it, but it's as if you're in a video game looking at like you
Yeah.
can see past the invisible wall, but are unable to move past it.
Screek has no concept of this. He's just constantly running back and forth, trying to bash through this invisible wall.
You can do so.
After,
After some time, the smell does dissipate
Yeah.
from the natural cleansers in the actual room itself. It's just they had to work overtime and took a bit longer to clean them out. As Hammer, as you go through, there appears to be another door. You walk through it and find yourself in what appears to be for all intents and purposes, a bathroom. Because there's an actual bath in this one. There's also, as well as a door leading to the left.
What race is Dr. Gorganis and how old is he?
Dr. Organis is, as far as I remember, is I think a high elf. He's definitely an elf. I just can't remember what subrace of elf he is, since they're all slightly different. But he is definitely an elf, and he appears to be of just above kind of middling age for an elf. So probably in the like 400 to 500s. So where a human would be in like in his late 40s to 50s.
Okay.
He seems to be what you'd expect for like a senior doctor.
And these are the only two, like, water sources in the flat I can see.
Yes, there are little corner sinks that appear to have arcane glyphs. There definitely appears to be like artificer plumbing throughout the building, as well as the toilet and the bath.
Why did you put it all the way over here?
Why wouldn't it be over there?
Would Hammer be able to recognize those glyphs to get a better understanding of?
For the
They're-
plumbing? Oh, they're just there. For, they're your standard artificer glyphs to make the plumbing work. So like push pull
right, okay.
mechanics and like auto cleanse the pipes mechanics.
I assume they were standard.
Yeah, they're standard artifice or low level artificery that uses a combination of magic and technology to replicate modern utilities. Because Akaba has the aesthetics of the Renaissance, but the magical technology of your modern civilization, such as plumbing.
So I'm going to go back into this room and just start searching along these walls. And I'm looking to see if the shape of the room doesn't make sense. Because rich high elf of a certain age, bathroom is next to his bedroom.
Yes.
If the office is where he spends most of his time, there should be a secret bathroom somewhere.
A secret bathroom.
Otherwise,
Remember, he's not old. He's in his prime. He's still 40, 50. He's not like Abel, who appears to be like approaching 80, 90.
hey man, I'm telling you now, speaking as a 40-plus-year-old, I am not walking across the size of this goddamn apartment from my desk every time I need to go for a piss.
To self, apparently
Unless-
Dr. Gurbanis should rearrange his apartment at some point.
Unless he's got 3 many uses a day teleport, and even then, annoying.
You would also know, I think because you're the one that wrote the history, Dr. Gorganis is the representative of the health department and is one of the senior members of the Iodine Syndicate. So, to be fair, he gets top-notch medical and magical like health treatment. He is in his prime.
Which makes, if he's such a high position, it makes even less sense why there's only one bathroom.
Because Akaba doesn't have a high wealth inequality like the modern world does. Why would he need 2 bathrooms?
Look at the size of this. Look at the size of this table, Chris.
Yes.
And this huge ass carrot. You
I'd
say
say- Mhm.
like if they have a diplomatic function there, which by the looks of it they're having at the moment, do you want a queue to form after Pronghorn leaves his bathroom? You would have 2 bathrooms. You just would.
You just would. We'll assume that that's a design oversight and has no reflection on the story.
I am still looking for a second bathroom because I believe there should be one there, and I'm making my way through all of this bit.
Okay, go ahead and give me a damn investigation check, and if you roll above 20, you piece out the fact that the building isn't the right size.
Oh damn!
There you go. Just so you guys can discover this extra room and put you out of your misery. And since you're the one that has a habit of walking through walls, you eventually realize, oh, this room isn't the same size as the actual room should be. There should be a little section of room here. You walk
it's a
in.
secret toilet.
You walk in into what you perceive to be the secret toilet, only it's not a secret toilet.
Well, shit.
It appears, to all intents and purposes, be a secret study of what you would very stereotypically perceive of as a secret cult study. There is a large ritualistic table that is got some flames, kind of like, or appears to be like arcane glowing crystals in it, giving off a little bit of heat. There appears to be what, as a proficiency of arcane, you'd recognize as a large chunk of black arcanite that is being molded on the ritual table into what appears to be a pickaxe. A small grove of mushrooms and a large statue of what appears to be a I feel like a almost spider-like dark elf. We'll go with that.
No dragon stuff.
No dragon stuff. A lot of spider memorabilia, no dragon stuff. There's like curtains and drapes hanging with like that silvery like silk web like styling to them.
Mm-hmm.
No dragon stuff.
I'm gonna come out of the rooms and announce, well, I found a kinky room, but nothing so far about like a hologram thing. Like apparently, Dr. Garganus deeply into spiders in a real weird way.
Well, there's a big skull here. Big skull. Don't know what it is.
It's
look
not
like
a
a spider?
dragon. I don't know what it is.
I'm not dragon.
That it doesn't matter. Does anybody else know about any, spider stuff? Dealy, for you that way inclined?
Not really.
Oh, then God help us, Skrieg. Do you know about spiders?
No. Natural 0 on the nature check for spiders.
Oh, damn.
What is a spider?
Spider?
Okay, then I'd have to take a look. I'm just going to see if I can touch the Black Arcanite.
You can notch your hand goes past it like the rest of the hologram.
Just going to see if one of those weird things is like, oh, it's the only real thing in here, kind of thing.
It is not.
Skrieg is going to join this crowd of people gathering.
As you're
everything in the room.
as Screek comes over to the group, they appear to be discussing the intersectionality of the Church of the Seven with the health department and how resources can be distributed to deal with the ongoing war efforts. Because might as well set this during the Ragnar Crusades.
Skrieg
Um,
is just going around whispering,
Separation of church and state. Separation of church and state.
as Dr. Grangas appears to be trying to like drag other people into the conversation, like talking, kind of directing Charlotte and trying to get Charlotte in to have a conversation with Pronghorn about, surely we should have a more rigorous legal structure and set of laws to distribute resources. And then kind of calling over to Farano if maybe the Druidic groves can help supplement the kind of overwhelming nature of how many like injured and diseases are popping up throughout the city and the lack of resources that each of the departments has, while he is trying to slip away and trying to find out where the hell Nozal's gone. But Hammer, you were having a look and poking at everything. You do so nothing is physically touchable for you.
Okay.
As well, come back to you in a second then. Tea Leaf, what are you doing over there?
he's doing a thing.
Are you doing a thing
I
over
want
there,
to
Tea
have
Leaf?
a look at these things with the gold wings
The things with the gold
on
wings.
the
Are you just
balcony.
on the balcony? Oh, they are statues of the goddess Medici.
Ah, Medici. I know Medici.
Yes, you do. One of like the 5 gods I commonly use.
It's just only the third time I've met her.
Hilariously. No, wait, this is a different character. Never mind. To say this is the also
There's been
the
3 different characters.
yeah, that's fair. They are statues of the goddess Medici. Would you like to know anything else? They appear to be your standard religious statues.
Could I try and see if there's any kind of trigger on the statue that could open any kind of secret passageway or door?
Yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check. Do note that you can't actually touch them, so you'd be mostly like looking, trying to see if there's any like hidden compartments of your hands.
18.
There doesn't appear to be any like triggers or levers or anything, but as you're poking around in the base of them, there does appear to be little segments where arcane glyphs have been carved into them and are ever so slightly glowing as if they are active. As well as what appears to be a very thin silver wire that seems to be built throughout the statue and is going into the ground just underneath them and is kind of like lining the balcony itself as you follow it around. There appears to be a silver wire lining the balcony.
I would like to have, if possible, a better look at the silver wire.
Certainly, give me an Arcana check.
Oof. Go with- yeah.
That just looks like a silver wire to you.
Hmm.
Screek noticing Dr. Gorgeous wandering around, looking like he's looking for something. Screek is gonna follow him because he likes looking for things.
That's fair. You do
And
so.
he's not really clocked on that no one can hear him yet. So he's pointing at things going, "Is this up? Is this up? Is this up? Is this up?"
He seems to be trying to get past Pronghorn now, who is like sidestepping left and right, trying to talk to Gorgonis about this, the vital nature of sharing resources between the two departments, and how the health department should be, helping with the the healing of the more disadvantaged of society.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, he's trying to convince Dr. Gorgonis to do more pro bono work for the immersed. Where Dr. Gorgonis is trying to like get past him. But with that, we'll head back around to each of the party. Hammer, you've noticed that Nozel seems to have suddenly appeared next to you, out of almost nowhere. He was previously, or he seems to have appeared in the study out of nowhere and almost like in a pop of air as he's very quickly strode across you and is now kind of like ruffling through the bookcase looking for something.
I'm just kind of look to see what he's searching for. Because I assume I recognize some form of teleportation.
Yeah. You're only level 5, so give me a Arcana check to see if you recognize the spell. You recognize the teleportation, but you don't recognize the spell itself. Or any specialist, like anything else around it. But you do recognize that it must be teleportation, since you know the generic principles of it.
Yeah. Like appearing from nowhere being the top one.
Yeah, you just wouldn't know any specifics as to like the exact spell or nature of what he's done. But he appears to be rifling through the bookcase himself. You're not entirely sure what he's looking for, given that you can't read his mind. And he appears to just be kind of looking at everything. Like he is like slowly methodologically working through. He's like pulling out books, putting them back. Kind of seems to be peering at like the back of the actual cupboard itself. Give me an insight check, actually. Let's see if you can gauge as to what he's looking for. But while you're doing that, we'll come back to you in a second as we move back over to Tealif. Tea Leaf, it appears to be like a silver line just stinging around the balcony. As far as your kobold brain can determine, there is nothing else of significance to it. You have no idea what this could mean. What else would you like to do?
Let's see.
I mean, I've got an idea of what it is, like as a player, but not as... Skreeg would have no idea.
For the silver line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. But Neil, what else would you like Tea Leaf to do?
I would have a look at the other statue of presumably Medici to see if it's the same, it's got the same silver wire, sort of same setup.
Oh yeah, for reference, the wire comes out of Medici and goes like around the entire balcony and then goes into the other Medici statue.
Alright.
So effectively, almost like what that black wall does. The silver wire kind of follows it around and then is like connected to each of the Medici statues. But there is no other information there that your character can glean, other than it is a silver wire running around the balcony. Like, that is the facts of what you're seeing. Unless you would like to interact with it in any other way, there's no other knowledge you can glean there.
Without being able to touch it, then can't really interact much more with it.
So, is there anything else you'd like to do?
I would take a look at these books. Is there a bookcase there? Yeah.
Is there anything in particular you're looking for? I don't know if you guys have ever looked at somebody's bookcase. They don't really scream knowledge unless you're looking for something.
I would sort of like pull them out, see if they like triggered anything.
You are unable to interact and take out the books because you cannot touch them. Your hand goes through them. It's kind of like the one gimmick of this place. You can look, but you cannot touch.
Force a habit.
Gonna force you guys to learn how to do proper politicking if it kills me. You can't just hit everything.
Why not?
In fairness, the people that always run in and hit stuff are not here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
not
calling out
fair.
you, Wolfie.
So I'm gonna help train the rest of you while they're not here.
That's
Give you guys
because
actual
they've been punished
chance
for
to
their crimes.
exercise your brain. No, technically this is a reward. You guys get to do a non-combat thing. Congratulations.
Can I spend my inspiration point for some kind of clue?
Oh yeah, if you guys are at the you've explored enough and want the next segment, we can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, because I have no idea what else I can do apart from trying to dispel this thing, which is a real unlikely hit.
Yeah, that's the gimmick. It can't be broken. It can't be touched. Don't worry about it. As we thingy through the rest of the story, because Nozel is about to find the thing, and then I'll do the actual plot or the actual like puzzle mechanic that you are sorely missing. You guys have managed to do I just want to see how long you'd explore the map before you asked what the actual puzzle was. Nozel
I never
finds.
thought to ask what the goddamn puzzle was, man.
How can I say? I'm a cruel DM. Nozel manages to tug on a book on the lower left that causes the second bookcase to disattach from the wall and swing over, allowing Nozel to slip in to the cult room. As he's doing that, and Gorgonis is finally managed to get past Pronghorn. He is very quickly kind of rushing, or trying to see like quick walk over back into the study. While all that is happening, you hear what appears to be almost a speaker coming online. Like there's a little like a little bit of static before eventually you hear a voice of Lou Grimm break through. Can you hear me? Actually, Lou Grimm, if you could go ahead and say, "Can you hear me?" a couple times.
Can you hear me? Hello? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Is this working? Does everybody switch this on?
The rest of the players can hear this, or the rest of the characters can hear this.
Mm-hmm.
Almost like a voice from the god in the sky.
Hello?
Angry goblin noises.
What's that?
At this point, you hear a second voice of the previous assistant. Oh, yes, I think it's working now. Yes, if you can hear me, we do apologize. There was a technical glitch in this room. We were supposed to give you this as you first entered the room, but as I mentioned, there was a technical glitch. Hopefully you have managed to discern and figure out the scenario of the room by yourselves. But if you haven't, this is the trial of control. What you'll see around you is a hologram of an informal meeting of the Council of 10 within Aqaba. 6 of the city's most prominent members of the various factions in a simulated discussion and scenario. Now, this scenario did not happen in real life. It has been recreated by our fantastic writers over in the control writing room. And will allow you to practice your innate intuition and proclivity towards the element of control. Yes. So to give you the rundown, each of you... Oh, actually, I should probably turn this on. As every single one of the characters suddenly feels a bubbling of energy within your mind, as 3 balls of energy appear within your subconscious. Yes, each of you have been given control points, and these control points will allow you to, like a poltergeist, either manipulate the room or infect one of the NPCs with a single sentence of thought. You will then have to control and subtly manipulate the scene for 3 objectives. Does that make sense so far?
No.
Kind of.
No? Oh, well, I don't really know how to explain this better, so hopefully at least one of you understands the general mechanics. You have... Yay?
Sorry, I brought Elodie straight and she's playing it in the background.
That's fair.
And from what I can tell, being murdered by lots of rats.
Yeah. So Skreek is going to start.
I'll stop listening after the first one.
I don't even understand what the hell that one
You got
meant.
no idea what the hell that
started
was.
searching after the first one.
Or stop listening after the first word.
Is Neil the one who can actually interpret any of this?
I mean, I assume on the video you're going to put up subtitles or something, yeah?
I honestly wouldn't even know how to start that.
I mean, I can probably understand myself if I heard it again. But...
Do it.
Well, that's good. If you can go ahead and write up the transcript for this this episode for the sane of our audience members.
I mean, like I said, I might be able to. Yeah. So, what do the things look like that we've been given to try like influence this hologram?
They are balls of energy within your psyche.
Cool.
From a meta perspective, you have 3 control points and you can use them to either like temporarily interact with a room or inject a thought into one of the NPCs.
Okay. So Skrig immediately goes over to the food and tries to use it to eat something.
You do so. You expend one of the control points, allowing you to pick up and hover the food.
He's gonna try to eat it.
You try to, but it seems to go straight through your mouth, and then the energy dissipates and the food drops down, causing the three people in the room to like kind of glance over quizzically before glancing back.
Angry cowboy noises.
Yes, that is the general idea. Well done. Mr. Grimm, are you sure these were the best that we could find? Oh, sorry, the mic is still on. Anyway, the room has 3 objectives, each one more difficult than the next. Depending on if you're able to achieve one or all 3 will gauge the aptitude you have for the soft art of control and the act of manipulation. The first and most prominent one is to prevent Dr. Gorgonist being discovered as a cultist for the Cult of Silk. The second is to cause a political rift and argument between Charlotte and Verona and prevent a agreement that would cause an end to the Druid Wars, or the Druid Rebellion. And the third and most difficult one is to somehow either poison or eliminate the cleric. What the fuck is Pronghorn? He is a cleric. Cleric barbarian. The cleric barbarian known as Pronghorn, representative for the Church of Seven.
You really smells like something died in him.
Yes, as a barbarian, he is very high in constitution. It is extremely difficult. We've tried several assassinations and differing ways to eliminate him. He has managed to subvert each and every one, quite frankly, without actually trying. It is quite frustrating. But those are the 3 objectives of the room. Like I said, you only technically need to fulfill one of them in order to pass. But fulfilling all 3 will allow you more prevalence when you join the cult, assuming you survive the other 2 trials. Now, hopefully you've had time to explore and get to know each of the prominent political figures around you and the general storyline for tonight's scenario. And we wish you the best of luck. You can obviously try as many times as you would like, but do know in real life you will only ever get the chance to do it once. However, this is a tutorial and you are all fresh initiative, so we understand we want to give you more leeway.
Okay, so we
if
come back
you-
next week, yeah?
Pardon?
We come back next week.
What? No. You get one try to try tonight.
So one time tonight, and then another try next week.
We will limit how long you take to do it tonight, and assuming you are unable to meet any of the objectives after a couple hours, we will be forced to eliminate you. And as we all know, unfortunately, you know too many of the cult secrets already. So any elimination will mean death. Thank you. And we wish you the best of luck in interviewing with the Cult of Control. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Mr. Grimm?
I look forward to seeing who can do the best.
Inspiring words. Thank you, Mr. Grimm. Well, best of luck. We'll check in a couple hours to see if you're still here. And if so, we'll flood the room with poison. Best of luck! As the static sound pops off.
Mm-hmm. So it's... Stop Dr. Gorgeous being discovered as a cult member.
Yes, for one of the sibling cults. The Cult of Silk.
Okay. We need to get Charlotte and Farana fighting or kill Pronghorn.
Yes, prevent them coming to an agreement to end the Druid Rebellion.
Okay.
And then poison Pronghorn, which is the most difficult one to accomplish.
Okay. I mean, we've already failed at, no one finding out he was a comment because Nozar is in the cult room. Unless we restart time and just kill Nozar
Yes.
straight off.
Don't forget we can restart time.
Yeah.
For meta gaming knowledge, your time limit is 9 p.m. You have
Yeah.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay,
so
right.
restart the clock.
Kobold meeting in the middle first, if you don't mind.
On
I
the
assume
table.
that means yes. Right. So, right. We need to stop Nozel, like, looking around, if possible. Charlotte and Fana seem to have had a conversation over here, so that's 2. And Pronghorn, we need to murder somehow. So who wants to go for what?
Frana was Adam Barner. Make her jump.
I don't know which one you're saying, so I'm going to say, hey, you go for that one, buddy. I'll give you a pat on the shoulder. You go, buddy.
Got this, buddy.
Okay, Tea-Leaf, which one do you want?
Well, I have a poisoner's kit, so I should try and poison Pronghorn.
Okay, and then I will, and I'm going to just give it a couple of beats until Skreeg starts walking toward whichever the one he goddamn said, and
So
I will say I'll go for that other one.
Yeah, so he's going to walk towards the balcony because Farana was out there earlier on.
Okay, then I will deal with Nazal. Okay,
Yeah, so-
is everybody ready for time to go back?
Yeah. So Nazal was on there.
Push the button.
Charlotte was looking at the things. Pronghorn, I think, was about here looking at food.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then Dr. Gorgeous was over by the globe.
Nozel was more over at this table.
Yeah, he's sitting on the couch with his feet up, so you get the point. Yeah.
IV set time.
Cool.
As suddenly the room crawls to a stop and begins reversing in time each of the NPCs in the story that you have witnessed so far, unraveling as they all return to their original positions. Time resumes. What would you like to do? It was half an hour before Nozel got up and started going south.
Yeah. So Skreeg is going to go over to Farana and use the ball. And in his best common, he's going to say,
Charlotte said to smell.
he doesn't know how to insult people properly.
Your persuasion check.
Persuasion?
Yeah.
Okay.
This should be high.
I mean, it's high, but
14.
I've got good modifier, but that's without proficiency.
Unfortunately, you don't get to know the results until the scenario plays out. So, who knows? You see Farana kind of like pause and kind of like look around with a quizzical look on her face, kind of just like shakes her head and starts returning back to the plants. For note, these are like subconscious commands of Inception style.
Yeah.
Rather than like just being in their head, because they all know how sendings work.
Because Skreeg watched Farana like tend to the plants. Can he use another charge to? How many charges do the things have?
Each of you get 3 points each.
3 points. So I've already used 2.
Oh, they reset when you reset time.
Okay, so I've only used 1 then. Okay.
Yeah.
Skreeg is also going to say.
They're also limited in how much they can actually do, which is why it's supposed to be the subtle art of manipulation.
Yeah. Charlotte. Skreeg can say.
Charlotte hates plants.
Alright, give me a persuasion check for that one too, and we'll come back to you in a second. Let's have a look at the other characters first.
That's better, right? Dirty 20.
Oh, nice. Tea Leaf, as you are currently standing in the middle of the table with all the wine bottles, what would you like to do? Prohonger is just eating through this giant carrot. With lots of helping of what appears to be mashed potatoes.
I'm not proficient with it, but I do have a poisoner's kit, so I'll be trying to make some poison to
Just adding
poison
just constantly adding poison.
the wine and the carrot.
Okay, and you said you're
Well, he
not
goes,
proficient with
yeah,
Poisoner's Kit.
so I don't get to add my proficiency.
All right, then you'd also have disadvantage on it if you don't have proficiency. Go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check at disadvantage.
Yeah.
And what kind of poison are you attempting to put in here? Are you just doing basic poison, or does Tea Leaf have more than basic poison?
It would just be basic poison, seeing he's a thief rather than an assassin. So I doesn't have
Yeah, so I'll let you have
proficiency
like
with it.
basic poison on you then. That's
No, I
fine.
didn't mean to click on that.
Then yeah, give me that sleight of hand check.
Disadvantage. No.
Where's my basic poison? Why? I like how they've actually given me all the fancy poisons, but I want my damn basic poisons.
20.
Oh damn, a disadvantage. Nice. Okay, you do not poison yourself, and you successfully managed to poison the food. I'll be honest, I was expecting you to poison yourself there. Oh, here you go. Basic poison. Okay. You apply poison, and one pronghorn has consumed it. We will see if they make the DC 10 Constitution save. Yep, we'll see if the barbarian cleric makes the poison DC 10 Constitution save. But there you go. You have successfully poisoned it. In order to convert your poison into real interacting with the thing, this will of course require one of your control points.
Yeah.
But you do so just long enough to that drop of poison to hit in. As we then head back to Hammer. Hammer, what you doing over there, Hammer?
I saw the book that opened up the secret compartment.
You did,
Can
yes.
I disconnect the part of the mechanism? So when you pull the book, nothing happens.
Ooh, yes. Give me, do you have any proficiency with traps or tinkerer's tools or anything that would allow you to have proficiency with disabling traps or disabling
I've got thieves'
connections?
tools. I'm proficient with them.
I was just about to say, could Hammer ask for Tea Leaf's help, because I have fast hands as well.
Okay. D-Leaf, there's behind this book, there is a... Oh, there
Actually,
is
this
a
would actually be quick
mechanism.
for the thief, yeah.
Yeah, and then if you're doing that, if you're going to spend a charge there, I'm going to leg it over to the toilet
Damn
to
it.
do something magical.
Okay. Tealith, then go ahead and give me a sleight of hand check at a. Actually, this would be. It's a dex with proficiency at advantage. So give me a sleight of hand check at advantage, since I assume you have proficiency in sleight of hand.
Yeah.
Since this is exactly what a
And
thief
that's
would
a
be looking for.
24.
You perfectly, especially now that you've been pointed out by Hammer, where exactly to look in Wick's book, and you've actually had experience with several of these. It's a necessity part of your job as a thief is having to get in through secret areas and get through secret bookcases. Akaba really seems to love its secret bookcases you've discovered, and you've done quite a few at this point. This is child's play to you as you easily disconnect the required. Normally you tend to activate it. It's strange that you've ever had to effectively lock one before, but the theory is the same, so it doesn't cost you
You
anything.
just do it backwards.
Yeah, you just kind of jam the mechanism so that it's stuck there and disconnect the book, so that way the book actually pulls out, and also sever any of the connecting joints there, so it's not obvious that it's connected to a bunch of wires or anything. But you succeed. This will cost the second of your control points as we go back to Scrig then, before we head up to see what Hammer's doing to the toilet. Screg, you've imparted 2 subconscious thoughts into Farana. What else would you like to do?
He's gonna hang fire for the moment. He's just gonna start wandering around, see what the other two are doing, because I've got an idea of what he wants for Anna to do when they're actually talking to Charlotte.
That's fair. All right, then we'll move over to Hammer. What are you doing magically to that toilet?
Well, can you describe to me, is it a case of it's just an like actual toilet but magical flushing, or is it more like it goes to like a orb of annihilation, get rid of it completely kind of thing?
Jesus Christ, he's a high-ranking politician, not the god king of the city. It is a regular toilet with just magic flushing. There's no orb of annihilation involved, because that would require an orb of annihilation in every toilet.
I assume if you're high enough, you would have one. Why wouldn't you?
Because it's a waste of an orb of annihilation.
I mean, if you got every day a spell slot that could do it, wouldn't you do it at some point?
For an orb of annihilation?
Yeah.
Annihilation isn't a spell slot. Magic item.
I assume you could get it if you really wanted to.
Also, isn't it a legendary magic item? Isn't it like one of them?
Yeah, even more disrespectful. I love it.
Using the soul orb of annihilation. Although technically a legendary isn't unique, an artifact is unique. Legendary just means it's incredibly rare.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like a handful of spheres of annihilation, and you want to use one for a toilet.
Well, yeah, but apparently not anymore. So, okay, what I will do with the toilet is...
Don't worry, I'll leave. I'll have the Archmagis use an orb of annihilation, but the regular doctors, unfortunately, are not the Archmagis.
Can I reverse the toilet and supercharge it?
For what sort of outcome?
Like, just imagine in your most vulnerable moment where you're just about to relieve yourself,
Supercharge a baguette.
a tidal wave shooting up from below.
That means a barbarian. It's not going to kill him, but you could definitely try.
I mean, it's the best idea I've got to start with, so...
That's fair. Yes. Go ahead and give me a. You'd effectively just be rewriting the arcane. You'd have to rewrite the actual arcane in the toilet. Are you willing to do this?
Yeah, the toilet's not really here. The toilet is just a hallucin. It's just a hologram. It doesn't matter. It's not the actual toilet.
Touche. Fair enough. Like
I
a
can spell
poltergeist,
it.
you are unaffected by the war. Okay, go ahead and give me a dexterity arcana check.
That's a dexterity arcana check.
It is a dexterity check with proficiency if you are proficient in arcana.
Okay, so I'm just gonna roll acrobatics and move +3 to it.
I go for it.
Well,
I really hope D&D 1 really emphasizes the fact that most skills
17.
don't just have one attribute. Actually, none of the skills have one attribute. They're just the most common ones tend to be used for them. What was that, +3 to it, so 20?
No, I added in the proficiency, so it's just a 17.
Oh, nice. 17 is still sufficient enough to quickly rewrite some code in the toilet, effectively, to have the magic go awry. All right, so you've created, for all intents and purposes, a slight water explosion in the toilet.
Yep. What's on
Or
the
an explosion
ceiling?
of water. A ceiling?
Yeah, what's the ceiling look like?
Nice mahogany wood panels.
Okay, fair enough. Come back to me.
So
I
basically,
guess with
what
some
you've
like
done
arcane
is
lighting.
you've made a powerful bidet.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm imagining.
Well, I'm imagining somebody casting tidal wave right up your butt.
Yeah, get that tsunami out.
Yeah, really give yourself a cleanse.
All right. If that is, there's nothing else anyone wants to do until we advance the clock a bit.
Yeah, do me.
Yeah.
We move time along to the first half an hour when Nozel gets up. There's the back and forth between Gorgonis and Nozel. Blah blah blah. Nozel hilariously, Hammer still isn't in the room to know why Nozel gets up, but he goes over to the other room and starts investigating, causing Gorgonis to kind of chase after him, and Abel to try and sneak behind and start looking and thinking things in the room. This cause Pronghorn then also goes off to the toilet at this time for the first event, and Farana comes inside, and Charlotte goes over to talk to Farana. Don't know why I'm putting a G in there. All right. Would the characters like to reposition themselves as the NPCs do?
Yeah. So Skreek was just gonna follow Farana. And when she gets close to Charlotte, he's gonna wait for them to talk a bit, and wait for either Farana or Charlotte to bring up the plants.
That's fair. Tea Leaf, where would you like to go?
I'm just gonna stand here and wait for Panghunter to come back. See what he does.
I guess I do have a stat block for him. 1 second. I have a stat block for him. I'm gonna see if he makes the save. Oh wow, does he not have proficiency in con saves?
Ah, for fuck's sake.
Wild. No, he doesn't have proficiency in con saves, I said.
I thought you said he does. Or questioned
No.
whether he does.
He has saving throws in wisdom and charisma. Wild. He does have advantage though against poison.
Hmm.
There you go, 21. He makes the DC 10 poison check.
Well,
He does not take the D4 poison.
he's got
Hammer.
the tsunami still to come.
He does. His stomach rumbles like a tiny bit more, almost like a lactose intolerant person, or like a mild lactose intolerant, having like a slight bit of cheese. His stomach rumbles a little bit from the poison, and then just fucking consumes
What,
it.
so we're saying this is Wolfie?
Yes. Hammer, would you like to get out of the toilet before Pronghorn gets in?
Unfortunately, I need to be in here to do the next part of my plan.
So we'll get to that in a second, as I'm just going to assume your thing doesn't activate until Pronghorn flushes. So, Hammer, go ahead and give me a con save while you're in there, as we move back to Farana and Charlotte. Farana taking care of the plants, and Strigg, now that you're close enough to actually overhear their conversation about the bagpipes drowning them out. Oh, unfortunately, Hammer, you're only able to stay in there for 5 of the 19 minutes that it takes Pronghorn before he flushes.
God damn it, fine. I'll just be outside the door.
How did we get to this? Oh, Jesus Christ. As we, Frana is taking care of the plants, and the conversation starts with Charlotte coming over and kind of subtly talking to Frana of, like, we need to talk, Farana. We can't, the Enclave can't continue this way. You know you're breaking several laws and causing disorder throughout the city. Farana kind of just thinking back of, yes, well, maybe if the Barons weren't so insistent on encroaching upon our natural boundaries, we wouldn't have to retaliate to such underhanded methods. But the city can't keep growing the way it is. The southern district is already encroaching and using up far too much lumber from the eastern forest. And it goes on for some time like that, of the two kind of going back and forth, talking about some disagreement caused between the Druid enclaves of the eastern forest and the encroaching city limit as from the newly developed southern district. As well as just the idea, conversations of like pollution and waste, and the fact that more and more waste has been entering into the Ashma River ever since the something they talk about something happening in the sewer that's blocked off the external port.
Yeah, they didn't use an Orb of Annihilation.
No, hilariously, and this happened quite couple years before the Crusade. There was actually a portal in the sewers of Aqaba that was teleporting stuff and causing it to cross the astral plane and end up in the Spirit Bluffs. Which caused an investigation from the Spirit Bluffs, or an expedition from the Spirit Bluffs into Akaba to figure out what the hell was happening.
And then they
And to
discovered
eventually-
shit happened.
And eventually closing the portal, preventing the trash being thingied away.
Solved it all with an orb of annihilation.
Yeah, maybe. But who knows? The Autoyogs aren't managing to keep up, and a small amount of the trash is being end up getting into the river now. Because the city is, especially with the influx of the migration from the 4 cities that fell during the start of the Ragnarok Crusade, there's just been a massive waste increase that the sewer system was not designed to keep up with the spike in waste. And even the sanitation department, or the new sanitation department, is struggling to keep up with the waste. Also, there appears to be some. They seem to be throwing shade back and forth between the goblins and the sanitation department, not keeping up their end of the deal, and secretly thingying trash away.
Well, they're on strike as well.
Hilariously, the city did at one point have a goblin strike that caused massive trash being piled up in the Akaba streets. And the moral of the story there is pay your damn sanitation workers, because nobody wants trash in the streets. But the conversation was kind of going okay initially. There was conversation there about, coming to a compromise. Before eventually Farana seems to just have a moment of breakage where she suddenly turns around and accuses Charlotte of having no care for the natural or environment around them, and only caring to placate the druids long enough to achieve whatever political goal she's going at. To which Charlotte kind of retorts back, and the conversation begins to get more heated. Faranga kind of constantly coming back to this argument point of, you don't care about nature, you don't care about the plants.
Yep.
You only care about progress.
Yep. And at some point, Skrig is gonna whisper to Thingy, just being like, stab her. With his last point.
To Farana or to Charlotte?
To Farana.
To Farana? Okay, this would technically be out of her character, so it's going to be a really high DC check, but she is also in a heated moment, and she also has a passionate character trait, so go ahead and roll. Give me a persuasion check.
Persuasion. There's my sheet gun. There it is. Persuasion. That's perception. Persuasion. There we go. That teetered on 15. I'm going to use my destiny point to re-roll that.
Okay, go for it.
It's going to come out lower, I know it is. No, that's a bit better. 17.
17.
A bit better, and you can see her kind of starting to ball up her fist a little bit, but you see her kind of just suddenly take a moment and catch her breath, as unfortunately it wasn't high enough to override her natural disposition.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just need something more from the city to give back to the druids, Charlotte. Just give it some thought, okay? We're not gonna back down. This is too important. As they don't appear to have completely broken, but they seem to have not been able to reach a compromise this time. As Charlotte kind of as Farana storms away, leaving Charlotte to kind of ponder and come up with something extra to give her.
I mean, I would class that as the objective being fulfilled.
Only if Charlotte isn't able to come up with a better compromise by the end of the night. But you have effectively stopped them coming to an immediate compromise and agreement. Yes.
Okay.
Could them being enough? We'll see.
Charlotte kind of stays there and seems to be pondering over kind of just her eyes kind of glancing back and forth as she's thinking and biting her nail. But with that, we'll come back to see Nozel is being chased out for a second. That will get us to about the 19 minutes necessary. As if Fiona come over to the plan. No, Fiona wants to go to the other plan. Over to the plan. Fiona goes to plants. That's just what she does. Nozel is being chased out by Gorgonis. Which should get us to the 19 minutes for Pronghorn's. Whatever the hell's about to happen to Pronghorn. Alrighty then. So, as Pronghorn begins to finish, Hammer, you hear a satisfied, "Oh, I think that's the last of it. Oh, thank the goddess." Or thank the goddess. Thank the the gods. Just thank the gods. There, look. Now what level is Tidal Wave? Because you're technically not high enough level to like. Oh, it's third. Okay. You're high enough level to know at least how Tidal Wave works. Okay then. Let's go ahead and I'm just gonna cast fucking Tidal Wave on him as he flushes. Hammer, you hear the sound of flushing suddenly getting louder and louder to re-enter the room if you would like.
Yes, please.
I need a dexterity saving throw apparently from Pronghorn. I'm gonna give him disadvantage because he's sitting on the toilet.
It's unexpected, surely. If anything, is a sneak attack.
Yep. He has 0 dex, so this will just be a flat roll. For disadvantage for 4, so he is definitely not able to get off the toilet quick enough as a tidal wave comes surging out of the toilet at him. And what would you like to do while he is taking this damage?
Okay, I would like to enter the room and using a religion check and seeing his tattoos from the war pantheon, just say, Dr. Gaganus mocks your gods. Or mocks. Is it Mira? Which is
Mika.
the war god? Mika.
Mika is the name of the pantheon, like family name. Each of the there's the 7 prominent war gods are like Vernus, Mika. So like Mika is their last family name because they are like house pantheons.
Mocks the house Mika, then.
Yeah, House of Mika is how you say that. Apparently, it takes 19 damage.
Because even though I can't kill him, maybe Dr. Gorgeous can.
But go ahead and give me a either persuasion check, intimidation check, your choice.
Well,
Let's see if this is successful enough to get him. Luckily, violence
17's not bad though.
is in his nature, although I think he also has wisdom proficiency. So one second, let me give him a DC here. Okay, we're gonna use his natural wisdom save here against. Actually, no, let's go with charisma. We're gonna use his charisma here as the base of his manipulation. So that, luckily for you, that is a DC 16 you had to beat.
Ooh.
As he has quite a decent. It's just because he has proficiency in charisma save. But as he stands up, completely drenched in toilet water, he kicks the door down and begins storming, dripping wet through the through the apartment. For note, these lovely portraits on the hallway walls are just various scenes from around Eros. Unrelated to the story, but there you go.
I'm following to watch.
As Pronghorn enters into the room and bellows out in his Goliath voice, "Gorgonis! Your toilet attacks me! How do you mean to rectify this insult?" As Nozel, like, very quickly takes, like, a step away, leaving Gorgonis to face the dripping wet Pronghorn. Alright, as Gorgonis... Ooh, Gorgonis is also just a naturally prideful guy. So he's going to have disadvantage of this. But let's go ahead and give him a persuasion check to try and calm Pronghorn down. 15 is not bad, but it is below the DC 16. It is enough down to not completely dispel the situation, but it is enough to stop Pronghorn from just outright attacking him. As Gorgona's like, sorry, what? What do you mean my toilet attacked you, Pronghorn? Did you break my toilet? You can't possibly blame me for the toilet, for you breaking the toilet, Pronghorn. See? Yes, I can! I did not break your toilet, the toilet attacked me! Pronghorn, please. By the gods we all worship, calm down, let's discuss this. Nozel just kind of over on the side being like, I don't know, Pronghorn. I think he might have been deliberate. I think the toilet might have deliberately attacked you. I mean, you know.
Yeah, the toilet's a mimic.
Charlotte's kind of like thingying over, being distracted from her call, and even Verona is currently coming over, like, Pronghorn, calm down, Pronghorn. It's okay. Like, we'll get to the bottom of this and find out what happened. Okay? Why don't you dry yourself off? Nozel, can you prestigitate Pronghorn? I mean, I can. I don't know if I want to though. I want to see what happens with him and Gorgonos. I supposed to have a more slimy voice. I don't know. I assume Nozel has a more slimy voice while he's like muttering these comments. Would the party like to do anything while this scenario is starting to cool down? The rest of the NPCs trying to like calm Pronghorn in his slight rage.
I mean, Squeak is out of all his points, so he can't do much more.
Hammer?
Yeah, I was waiting to see what Tea Leaf is going to do.
Tea Leaf says, thinking.
I mean, you could. So, I mean, someone could use a point to influence Pronghorn to say they're all out to get you.
Yeah, I was trying to think of
make him paranoid.
Using a point for Gorganis to diss Pronghorn somehow to antagonize him more.
Remember that the DCs are set based on the underlining like NPC characteristics. So if they are more prone to like pride and paranoia, the DC would be lower.
I was just trying to think of what best to say if it's like a sentence.
Yeah, from what you know, Pronghorn, while very prideful, isn't particularly prone to paranoia. He is a cleric of the Church of Seven, and more importantly, he is a cleric barbarian of like helping the weak and never striking someone unnecessarily.
I was thinking of like saying something to Gorgonis.
That was more for Ben and Skreek there.
Alright, sorry.
Tea Leaf, I fully agree with you. Gorgonis being the more prideful doctor that he is, you're better off kind of procking him to antagonize, because he's naturally antagonistic.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of the best thing to say that could work.
See, you guys, you spent so long investigating the maps. You never spent enough time learning the NPCs and their characteristics.
Yeah.
They didn't seem good enough to care about.
So basically, just need to hurt his pride. What is Pronghorn? I mean, I've just been imagining him as a minotaur.
He is a Goliath. He is a Goliath of tattoos of the War Pantheon, and for all intents and purposes, he seems to he is the representative of the Church of the Seven, which is the prominent religious organization in Alterra. It worships all seven pantheons, with various subsects worshipping like the dedicated pantheons themselves. Himself is particularly inclined to the Mika house pantheon, and he appears to be a mix of cleric barbarian.
Okay.
He also seems to be quite a boisterous, happy fellow who really likes food. Are the characters still thinking? Would you like any help or any hints or tips or anything? I'll make you do insight checks if you want.
I'm going to use my last one for Dr. Gorganis, and if he's a prideful man, like, Pronghorn did this on purpose to shame you.
All right, go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
All skills I do not have.
Lucky for you, because you managed to hit a nerve, that was only DC 11.
Oh,
Like I said, lower DCs if you hit their actual like nerve points.
Mm-hmm.
What was Charlotte again?
Charlotte is a dark-skinned human. In terms of any other details, it's not like you can just learn their classes by like looking at them.
It
But
was
in terms
more
of what they're-
details, sorry, of what we were trying to do with her.
Oh, in terms of the quest, you were trying
Yeah.
to prevent her, who she appears to be or from the history check you did previously, she is the representative of the remaining nobles, not noble, the remaining nobles. She is the representative of the remaining nobles that existed before the fall of the various cities, and the restructuring of the remaining nobility into the legal class, effectively. So she represents the Department of Law. She was one or two of you guys might know, and you did roll high. She was previously a part of the ruling house of Bloodraven, or one of the members of the one of the houses, and was one of the nobility of Bloodraven before she migrated to Akaba due to the fall of Bloodraven during the start of the Ragnar Crusades. To which she and several of the nobles from Akaba and Highgarden and Salarin formed the new noble legal class to create laws for the city oligarchs and how like the various departments of the city interact with each other. But for Gorgonis, he is going to actually kind of take a step back of like, whoa. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Why are we trying to cam Pronghorn here when the man has destroyed my toilet? I'm sorry, you can't possibly conceive that this was some plot to what? To shoot water up Pronghorn's ass? Also, you're dripping what I can only assume is toilet water through my entire apartment. As the conversation begins to thingy there, and Pronghorn kind of like, whoa. I did not destroy your toilet, Gorgonis. God, how the hell do arguments progress? It's been so... Huh. You know, I'm not going to try and do dialogue here.
You hit a touchy subject to begin with, and build on that depending
Yeah,
on the reaction.
just this montage. We're just gonna montage this as the argument's starting to escalate, because I don't know, we're nearly at 9 and my voice is starting to give way. I can't think of entire dialogue trees here. The conversation begins to escalate again with Gorgonis starting to poke fun. Maybe if Pronghorn didn't stuff himself so full of food and devour half the table for the group, maybe he wouldn't have exploded his damn toilet. Pronghorn retorting of, well, maybe if you had a bear toilet that could handle a normal amount of shitting by a Goliath. Maybe you didn't have such a puny toilet. Maybe it could handle the food, and also the point of food is to be eaten. And it gets a little bit more ridiculous going on there. The rest of the NPCs trying to calm it down. Well, apart from Norzel. Abel is just conveniently absent through all of this. Just rifling through stuff. Norzel has taken a seat back on the couch and is just watching with glee, while Farana
I was going to
and
say,
Charlotte...
Tea Leaf would whisper to Farana to tell Charlotte that Charlotte only became a lawyer because she was a noble, but she's such a bad lawyer. She got in because like she's a noble. You know, it's a class thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you're really a bad lawyer. The only reason you were able to get past the bars because you're a noble. Otherwise,
Daddy.
you'd be useless.
Technically lawmaker, but the points are all the same. So go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
I was just trying to find the best way to articulate that.
No, I got your point. So I understand where
Persuasion.
you're going first. So yeah, go ahead and give me a persuasion check. You're hitting the right points. Don't worry about the terminology.
13.
13, is that enough? And you're targeting Farana for this?
Yes.
Fortunately, she's also the druid and has high wisdom and is very hard to manipulate. No, unfortunately, I'm going to say that isn't sufficient enough to manipulate the high wisdom druid, especially because she is more aligned to the pacifist trait.
Could I use my destiny point on that?
Yeah, go for it. Probably looking for at least a DC 18, I would say. Yeah, it's quite a high check to proc Farana to anger.
Oh, Jesus.
Unfortunately, they both seem to be too distracted, kind of like pushing Pronghorn and Gorgonus away from each other to turn on each other.
Just
Or at least,
a question, Chris. These control points only work on the actual people, the holograms. But would our regular abilities work on each other?
Yeah.
Okay, then, as a reaction, I'm going to chronal shift
Ooh.
Tea Leaf to roll again, to force him to re-roll again.
All right, go for it. Tea Leaf, go ahead and roll again.
Oh, better. Son of a bitch.
Thanks anyway.
I mean, we tried.
But Gorgonus and Pronghorn, while they are throwing insults at each other, are being slowly pushed back by Farana and Charlotte, who are breaking up the scene. All the while, Nolzal, just a shit-eating grin on his face, is watching, and Abel is nowhere to be seen. Would the party like to do anything while the situation, while we were able to restoke the fire, the help of the two NPCs are managing to maintain the fire and trying to diminish it?
I have no more points left.
No, I'm out of points.
I should have one left, I think.
Then Hail Mary, Tea Leaf.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of who the best one is.
Maybe Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte seems to be one of the most aggravated.
What do you mean by aggravate? She seems to be calmly kind of talking Gorgonus down.
Not Charlotte. The other one.
Farana.
Yeah. You might be able to talk her into doing something.
That's who you were previously trying to talk into doing something. She's the high DC druid.
Mm-hmm. Well, you. So we've disconnected the book from the thing, so we can't get into the cult room.
Yeah, we've succeeded at one thing.
Semi-succeeded at the interaction between Farana and Charlotte.
So potentially
Only
succeeded at
partially.
two.
Yeah, that one should be a tentative success because they can still.
That's why I said semi-succeeded. And then Pronghorn.
And
Nothing will
Gorgonus.
Yeah, we're not going to kill him.
There's not much we can do on that point. So it's mainly with the Farana and Charlotte thing.
Yeah.
The only thing I can think of is to wait until the next tentative deal is put towards them, and put the idea into Charlotte's head to give them something very insulting, like I don't know.
Or just say something like, they're just plants, what does it matter?
Yeah. So, something like that. It's just plants.
I was trying to think of something to do with the plants.
Yeah.
Being like, she doesn't take care of them properly. or tend to them as much as she should.
No, she wants to not her own personal plants, just plants in general. Plants don't matter.
Yeah.
Plants, think plants are stupid. There's no point in them. Um, just think something along that line.
Does Charlotte smoke?
You have not seen her smoke, no.
Okay.
Or do you think she smoked plants?
No, I'm saying like she can just like stub out a cigarette into the bush next to her.
That's why I was thinking. Like, what insults druids? Like metal and iron and things like that. So you could have her say like, "I will give you, I don't know, 100 pairs of iron secateurs or something like that, to keep your plants in line."
Yeah, but I think Charlotte, we might have a better chance.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Get Charlotte to give Farana something insulting, because it's Charlotte that's giving the
I'm
deal.
gonna go through Charlotte to get to Farana.
Yeah. What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, that's the way I would go. So go for it, Tea Leaf.
Yeah, what you want Charlotte to do?
Tea Leaf's gonna get Charlotte to ask Farana. It's like, why do you spend so much time with all those weeds? They're just all overgrown everywhere. They're making the place look untidy.
All right. Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck.
Son of a bitch! Right, I'll use my second and last chronal shift. Hold it again, Tea Leaf. Because I doubt a 9's gonna do anything.
No, I'm not expecting it. Oh, Jesus.
You are killing me.
Oh, damn. Start over here, North. All right, so as
just want me to help Neil. That's all it is.
as you are whispering into Charlotte's ear, she doesn't even seem to react to your whispering or to your subconscious implant. As she continues to talk to Gorgonis away and kind of starts trying to get him out of the room. Forhanga similarly taking Pronghorn aside and to go get him a towel and like start going over and dragging Nozel over to start precipitating the toilet water off him. Abel very
It's
quickly
because I'm
coming
a
over. Being like,
gardener, isn't it?
it is. You just don't believe your own argument, and you know. But the fight has been broken up. Charlotte is talking Gorgonis down, as well as Fran Nozel are precipitating the toilet water off of Pronghorn. What would the party like to do as the rest of the night plays out?
How much time have we got if it ends at 9?
So this would have been just after Pronghorn came out. So this will be the first hour of the 3-hour event. We'll speed through the next 2 hour and montage it to see what happens.
I mean, is there like a button to like try get Lou and the other one back?
To get Lou into the other one back? What do you mean?
To like get them back
Speak
on
to them.
the
To get Nuzzle back down.
to get Lou Grimm back on the intercoms.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
To be fair, you could just shout out to them. They are watching and listening to what you're doing.
Yeah. So,
Hilarious.
yeah.
I assumed you'd shout out to them in like the first 10 minutes of figuring out what's happening.
he's just gonna.
We done?
I was fascinated by what you would get up to.
We done?
The intercoms come back on, and you hear the second voice of the assistant come up on. Yes, we're just going to speed up the simulation here to see how the night comes to a conclusion and to see what happens. Suddenly the NPCs around you begin to speed up. And eventually they all start coming into the room after an hour and a half, after being cooled down. The rest of the room kind of come back together, and they make Pronghorn and Gorgonis kind of talk it out. The rest of the party kind of being present there, while Nozel takes this opportunity to slip away and suddenly reappears and begins stealthing back over to the bookcase as previously happened, since nothing stops him from trying this again, and is going to begin investigating the bookcase. However, he is unable to activate the bookcase. What would he do then? He doesn't want to risk teleporting into a solid piece of wall, so he doesn't just teleport in. He doesn't find any access. He's still convinced there's something there. So what would a wizard do if they thought there was a hidden room but couldn't find the access point for the hidden room?
Eyeball.
You want to fireball the wall here?
Hey, wizards.
All else fails.
Yeah, all else fails. Or, at the start of the day, fireball.
He is going to grumble, and there's more commotion going on outside. Things have gotten a little dramatic. The toilet's been blown up, and Gorgonis is also a little suspicious that Nozel keeps poking around. So after the 2.5 hours, Gorgonis is actually going to use the toilet explosion as a justification for ending the meeting early. Because nobody wants to go to a party where the toilet's been blown up.
Especially in a flat that's only got one toilet.
However, on the final, just kind of like while everyone's collecting their coats, Charlotte is going to come over to Farana. And unfortunately, none of your persuasions on Charlotte worked. Because they just kept getting depressingly lower.
Tell me about it.
So nothing is going to stop Charlotte giving up a major piece of political maneuvering effectively to satisfy Farana, since she also wants them to come to a compromise that night. One that involves limiting the power of the barons to effectively continue their onslaught into the thing, and one giving more legal rights to the enclaves. Which unfortunately does satisfy Farana to coming to a compromise for effectively the Druid strike. Since Charlotte has no prejudice against them. And unfortunately, Charlotte also does have a slight respect for plants. So unfortunately, any talk about her disrespecting plants would have been a high DC check.
Fair enough.
It's worth a shot.
It is. I did like the way you guys were thinking about it. Unfortunately, you focused too heavily on what Charlotte would say to offend Farana and not why Charlotte would say that. So you ended up going against the water flow instead of like amplifying the natural disagreements between them.
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair, that's like high level political intrigue, effectively. And this is our first time. I think this is the first time for this group.
Antagonize her for what she loves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the first time this group I've done political intrigue DMing for.
Yeah.
So hey, you guys did pretty well for the first time. It's like combat. It's something you just get better at with practice.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I blew up a
You
toilet.
just
I'm
keep,
happy.
Yeah, we'll try it. So with that, you did manage to prevent Gorgonis being outed as a Cult of Silk member. But you did not manage to succeed on preventing a compromise between the druids and the law, and effectively the governing segment of the council, as well as you were unable to so much as bloody Pronghorn. But with that, the rest of the party is going to leave.
Mhm.
So you guys can get the... Oh, we'll get Hammer out there for a second, and I'll get the rest of the guys to shut off. There you go. I'll go lost. Leaving Pronghorn to go deal with the blown up toilet. He's gonna have to call someone in to try and get the toilet fixed. But with that, the illusion in the room begins to evaporate and fade away, leaving you to a large stone room. As a segment of the wall on the far right slides open, revealing a shimmering portal to the next trial. Which you guys have half an hour to finish up before we end today. We're probably going to end up skipping the boss battle combat. But hey, I wanted to try and do a one-shot that wasn't reliant on combat.
Fair enough.
So I'll be happy
And that
with
was a one shot.
Yeah.
And that is actually a one-shot.
Yeah.
So we're not doing a combat another day.
Go to the next room then.
Yeah, let's go.
Yep.
I need to actually go grab your characters as well.
Your inner path
Where
is
the
full.
hell
There are multiple
is-
items around you.
Why am I missing a character? Who am I missing here? I got Hammer and Tea Leaf.
Squeak.
Why can I not find Screek? Where's Screek gone on this map?
He was down
Screek,
by
where?
by the cannon last time I moved him.
Yeah, I think he somehow got deleted. He's not on the map anymore.
Oh.
Oh well, one second.
Yeah,
Let
did
me
you
go
not
back to the
delete
cult
him
entrance and grab him.
when you got rid of everybody else?
Maybe it's why I took people out of the group, but oh well. Yeah, he's in the cult room, so I'll grab him from the cult room. Out of curiosity, is this map actually high res for all of you?
Yeah.
Oh, there
Yes,
it is.
yeah.
Okay, it was just my screen catching up. Oh, and I need 2 NPCs.
So we've got a barrel with a map on it, a barrel with maybe a rug on it, popcorn,
I thought they were
Yep.
mushrooms.
an iron
Looks like a
bar.
monitor. I thought it was a monitor.
Yeah, monitor or something.
Possibly. That it looks
some-
like a document
Document
And
a
then
book.
a book.
and a book. And
In a second.
statues.
Statues.
I think they're dudes.
No, the
Oh, I think they're more.
what the
portals.
cultists are in front of.
Yeah, I think they're
Oh,
probably
portals. All right.
Okay.
Like,
So as you enter what appears to be a large, white, sterile room, almost like a museum room, you see 10 podiums. 6 of them with various artifacts on top. Is either a pile of skulls, what appears to be a maroon tablet, a map of some variety, a stone totem pole, a scroll, which unfortunately there wasn't a good scroll image, so I just went with a piece of paper, and a open tome. And on the center 4 are what appear to be writing in deep speech. So we'll see if any of you understand deep speech.
Squeak
as-
does.
Well
Yeah,
as
Squeak-
2
Squeak does.
large portal archways with glistening, shimmering portal magic horizons, and 2 generic cultists, one wrapped up in silver chains, the other standing free. And as you enter, there is actual Grimm will turn on the intercoms. Did I write this down anywhere? One second. Apparently, I wrote this down in my notes and didn't actually write it down anywhere useful. I need to go quickly grab my notes as to what the message of this room is. As we enter room 3.
This is also a puzzle. You can ask us what the puzzle is before you start.
Look, I had fun watching you guys just like explore the map and like try and figure out what was going on. It told me a lot, like the fact that you guys just completely ignore the NPCs. Which,
To
yeah,
be fair,
that
we started to shadow them for a bit,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
we
man.
just kind of got derailed.
Yeah, unfortunately, political like meetings and conversations aren't good to like give you high details off because it's all very boring detail.
Mhm.
But as you enter this room, the intercom comes back on again, and see, this is the problem with having Lou Grimm be like a guest appearance character is I haven't given Neil a script, so Neil, in your best like prophesized voice of like giving an omen, I need you to say this out loud, which I'm going to put in the chat in a second.
Clear my throat.
Dear sir and or madam, I was staying in your hotel.
Alright, so I'm going to need you to, in roll 20, say that out in your most, like, doomsake voice.
One path leads to instant death. The other, your new destiny. But pick carefully. For if you don't, it could mean your demise.
So yes, there you go. The puzzle, this one, is there are 2 doorways. One will instantly kill you, ending today's session. And the other will allow you to pass into the final trial. Which would you like to go through?
I mean, does anybody else just want to drop kick the cultists into the doorways to see what happens?
I mean, I was thinking of getting at least one of them.
I mean, is it the old one of us only tells the truth, one of us only tells lies?
That's what I thought it was going to be.
Yes, but in this case, it's one of them is in chains, the other is not. That
As
is
a player,
that is their gimmick.
As a player, I think I know what it's going to be, but as in game, I wouldn't know. I mean, I could be wrong anyway.
So yes, there you go. You have 15 minutes to figure out how not to die, and then you have to pick a room at the end and potentially die.
Can we just take a look? Can you tell us what all these things are?
Yes, I can.
Well, because Greek can understand deep speech, we can find that out first.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, what's deep speech in this thing then?
It was
So the
scroll,
4
was it
central
not?
glyphs.
Oh, all right.
The 4 in red is the deep speech.
Okay.
So as you go over to, I'm just going to assume the first one because it makes chronological sense that you'd go straight to the first deep speech.
Well, for Greek, who knows?
As you look at the first one, it seems to be almost a retelling of maybe not so much history, but like a small segment of history, along the lines of when the cosmos was first created, when land and soul first became one, the mind sprung forth in digits of 10. And the 10 of us did rule, the 10 of us did impart wisdom on the world. For the 10 gave ideas and imagination. It gave creativity to Noid kind. It gave control. And it kind of goes on to, it seems to be like almost a religious piece of text. As you move over, where would you like to go? Left or clockwise or anti-clockwise?
You'd probably go clockwise around it, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So as you go over to what appears to be the 3 crossed with the X. But for some, that was not enough. The harmony in the cosmos was not enough. That is when they arrive, the tyrants, and they cast down any who dared oppose them, for they wanted control for themselves, not for each to hold individually as one, but for them to hoard and maintain above elf, to deprive those who would come to worship them in false ideology. That is when the war began. And with that, you move on to the final piece. We fought, but in the end, we did fall. Unshackled in chains of silver, we did find ourselves. And now we slumber, waiting for the righteous to pick up our cause, waiting for the righteous to cast down the tyrants who have led them astray, who usurp the cosmos, and call themselves king and ruler and god. And finally, to the last one, when our avatars are unbound, when the gods are no more, and the 10 stand united, rising above all, we will bring renaissance. We will bring ideas and imagination, creativity and advancement. We will bring technology to all. For our gift is not of the individual. Our gift is to all. For we cannot hoard ideas, for we cannot hoard thought, but we can inspire it in all who follow us. Stand up against the tyrant, throw off your shackles, for none may remain free so long as one is imprisoned. None shall see salvation, none shall fulfill destiny, while any remain under the control of the tyrants.
Yeah, so Screek basically reads that out.
Mhm.
I'm actually surprised he even got fully past the first one.
Well, he only gives you basic, really, like, half details.
The Cliff Notes.
Cliff Notes version, yeah.
So yeah, in summary, creation of the 10 that created thought and imagination, war with the tyrants, imprisonment and enslavement by chains of silver, and finally a promise for the future, effectively, that if the 10 can be unchained, unshackled, then they will bring the gift of thought and technology, etc., etc.
Yeah, so he's going to say, like, 10 people did a thing, they want to be free. I don't know. Something along those lines.
Do you think we should free the guy in the silver chain and then go through that one?
I mean, yeah. They want to be free, so why not?
Let's just speak to them first.
Okay.
Like, oi, cultist.
Yes, initiative. You may ask me any question and I will answer as true as I can.
Is this the dragon cult?
This is not the dragon cult. This is the cult
Son of a
control.
bitch! I made such a mistake.
You see him like about to say something and then just kind of like, it's not worth it.
Oh god. Right. Okay. Do you know how to free your mate from the chains?
As he looks over, my comrade, like our master, like, I wouldn't really call them masters. Like the Great Ten. Like the Great Ten is bound in chains of silver. Unfortunately, there is but one that can unleash him. But I do not have such material on me.
Who is the one that can release him?
Not who, but what.
Okay. What is the one that can release him?
Unfortunately, that knowledge is beyond me.
Right.
Would you
Look
like to
across
do
the other
anything else?
guy. Right. Oi. Do you know who can release you?
As you see, I am bound in chains, my mind a haze, for that is what these chains do. They shackle me like like the great ones. I cannot think. I cannot help. I cannot give you knowledge. I have it, but I am bound. For that is what the chains do. That is what the tyrants want. They want to take knowledge from you, to prevent us from parting it to you. I am sorry, but while the chains remain, I cannot help you.
You need to get the chains off him.
And then Skreeg is just going to start essentially chewing on the chains.
You do so. Hammer, you recognize these chains as being made out of silver arcanite, and you know that they are indestructible, bar one thing that you're going to have to give me an arcana check for. Since, hilariously, you have someone who is a wizard, and a wizard is one of the few people, apart from an artificer, who might know this. Let's see how good Hammer is at arcana.
The
Damn,
black obsidian.
Yeah, so I know the players know what breaks silver arcanite.
Yeah.
You know, the characters, level 5 that they are, might not.
I know. I was speaking as a
Um,
character.
But yes, Hammer, you know that the only thing known to wizard kind that can break silver arcanite is the legendary, somehow less rare, black arcanite. Since silver is a step above in rarity. It's hilarious.
Okay, so we need to get some black arcanite. Let's take a look at what these things are.
You know, it amazes me the amount of storylines that somehow center around the need for black arcanite breaking.
I mean,
Wild.
if I play an artificer again, I am going to carry black arcanite with me constantly.
Yeah.
It does seem to be surprisingly useful. It's also rare. But then that also means if you get a rare item, you can get it. So, so play a character that's high enough level to get a rare item. Is it rare? Yeah, because it's uncommon, rare, very rare, and then
Legendary and an artifact.
technically legendary. Platinum's the only legendary one. There's no such thing as artifacts. In terms of like how rare something is. Since those are
Oh,
magical.
okay.
Artifacts are just the
Artifacts
items
were
you
like
get.
super, super rare. You're so very lucky if you manage to get one.
Artifacts technically mean they are individual, and there are one-offs.
Yeah.
So I mean,
there
you're
is not a
super
there is
lucky
not a
if you
one-off arcanite.
get one.
Yeah, they're unique items.
At least that's how I tend to do them. Anyway, the map appears to be a map of Eros itself, of the actual continent. But you can see that the map is strangely like stretched and oriented. So normally it's a bit more of a rectangular continent, but it seems to have been kind of almost stretched down into a square. And it seems to have a giant X over what appears to be Salarin. Or maybe slightly left of Salarin, from what your knowledge of the map is.
Saying
Do
you
you
are
have
here.
proficiency with Artographer's tools?
Nope.
Why does this keep coming up? Why did I make so much of this related to Cartographer's tools? Then give me a insight. Give me a wisdom check without proficiency.
Okay. I will use survival. It seems to be most legit.
Ooh, 13.
Yeah, could be worse.
It just seems to be a weirdly proportioned map. Oh, actually, there probably should be also a second X. So there's an X in Salarin, and there's also an X in Bloodraven. There you go.
Didn't you change it from Bloodraven?
No, I changed the setting from Bloodraven back to Akaba, but the map itself does have an X over what was Bloodraven before it
Oh,
passed.
okay. Sorry.
Right. And I'm just going to look at all of them in counterclockwise order.
I was just about to say, did you say this was a scroll?
Yes, a scroll and a tome.
Yeah.
Contents boxes. So as you look at it clockwise, we have the map of Eros, the realm itself. What appears to be a stone tablet that is engraved with what appears to be arcane glyphs of some variety. They don't make any logical sense. They actually look to be like almost an alphabet of arcane glyphs. There is a pile of skulls that. Go ahead and give me an investigation check to see if there's anything useful about a pile of skulls.
No popcorn.
28. Damn.
It is damn nice. There, yeah, 28. You just there is a key inside one of the skulls at the very in the middle of it. Very well hidden, so that if it's kind of jammed in there, so if you rattle it, it doesn't rattle about. But able to easily remove once you know it's there. It's mostly just really well hidden. But for 28, you definitely managed to find it. Tell me why you managed to find this key in the skull, and what the hell you're doing to these skulls for 28.
I think because I still think Skreek is a younger kid, I keep pulling up the skulls and moving their mouths on puppets. Trying to distract you from ruining your teeth on the silver.
That's fair. You find what appears to be a long skeleton key with no other
Suppose
discerning details.
It goes. Is there a lock or is it just chains wrapped in chains?
Chains wrapped in chains.
Never mind then. Okay, I have a key.
That's what I thought.
Okay, down to the monitor.
It is a large stone cross standing upwards.
Is there anything on it,
you about
text-wise
to?
or iconography?
No, it is completely smooth stone, as well as it appears to be, if you try to I don't know, push it or thingy, it appears to be stuck to the bottom of the podium. It is unmovable.
Well, it would be with a 9 strength.
Oh yeah. Okay, then we go take a look at the skull.
The scroll appears to be a scroll of universal solvent.
Okay, and then the spell book, the tome.
The tome appears to be a random configuration of common words that make absolutely no sense to you. You can read it, but it's random words of bike went over hill, cat like milk, let everyone on the Ferro wheel. But I don't know.
So as
transcribe that
far
into
as
fantasy.
Hammer's concerned, Skreek could have wrote it.
Yeah. Okay. So, if it's a spell scroll, if I cast it, we can use it to unglue the cross.
Maybe. Who knows?
I'm asking you, can I read the scroll to cast it to unleash the cross?
You can cast the spell scroll. Yes. Would you like to cast that at the cross?
Yes, please.
You do so. You automatically pass what any check is necessary because this is a puzzle mechanic, and that's how puzzle mechanics work.
And
The
before
scroll.
you do that, could you put that in your spell book?
I mean, you could do if it was a proper campaign, but
Yeah, we're gonna skip past that. I don't know. If you ever come back to the character, sure, you can have it in your book.
Because I thought it was something if this didn't work.
But the cross unsticks, having successfully, you guessed, been stuck with glue, and falls over, revealing a keyhole on the bottom of the cross itself.
Aha! I produced the key.
You do so.
I insert and twist.
You twist. It twists in an entirely 360 manner without doing anything. What is your passive perception?
Oh, I think 16. And let's take a look. Yeah, 16.
16. You hear faint clicking noises every kind of 6 centile as you're rotating the key full 360. Nothing happens when you fully rotate the key, and nothing stops you from rotating it again.
Can we move the stone tablet?
Yes, it is reasonably heavy, a little bit heavier than stone would you imagine, but it's not too big, so it's a struggle, but it's just carrying around like a brick or like a
In that
bag
case,
of
can we grab the tome and move it over to the stone tablet?
Yes.
So I'm using my background as an investigator because I believe these two together would be some kind of cipher.
Oh, okay. Give me a wisdom investigation check. I guess it could be intelligence or wisdom. Give me an investigation or a wisdom investigation, your choice. Because ciphering is still
23.
intelligence.
Not bad.
You managed to correctly decipher the blah 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 blah. You made the investigation. You get like the correct number of like rotational turns to effectively like a safe like unlock with
Yeah.
the key, the thing. We all know where this is
Combination
going. I don't know.
safe.
We're at half past. You've successfully like thingied the puzzle. The I'm not gonna like go into great detail and narrative like flavor it. The cross itself evaporates as you do the last correct like left right two back left back again, revealing a black arcanite pickaxe.
Mm.
Good. I chuck it to Tea Leaf and say, "Go on, have a go."
You know, Tea Leaf has a strength of 9, right?
Yeah, but you know, I also don't want to hit the chains just in case something goes wrong, and I haven't worked that out.
I mean,
That's fair.
That's fair.
I mean, what's your strength?
It's +1, I think 12.
I mean, you're the strongest one here, then.
Oh, that's just
Yeah.
embarrassing.
He also has self-preservation.
I'm also the smartest one here, so I'm also letting Tea Leaf have a go.
What's your intelligence?
20.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, mine is 10. My strength is 10. So I mean,
Yeah, it'll take you forever, but one of you just give me a strength check. Just
Yeah.
all of you give me a strength check, and
Okay.
we'll see just how long it takes you.
Yep, checks out.
Nothing bad happens when you hit the
Yeah,
thing.
definitely checks
Wow,
out.
somehow, Hammer, you are like your namesake. You're the only one who can hammer away these chains. Oh my god. Well, there you go. We did the wisdom charisma puzzle. You've done the intelligence one. You did the intelligence one actually really quickly. Well done. Did you guess what the map was for?
I think where the portals go, but I don't know.
No, the reason it's been squished is because it overlays onto the room and indicates that there's something in the skulls and the cross.
I did not get that.
No.
No, I was going to go to the if the cross gave us like not a lot, I was going to go to the map next to go. What could the map be?
Yeah, to be fair, technically, if you guessed that, I give you like advantage on investigating the skulls and the cross.
Alright.
But you didn't need it because you rolled so damn high. So it's an optional like help tool. But you're able to unchain the cult member who, as the chain stinging away, suddenly like stands up and proclaims, "I remember now. Without the chain shackling me, I can impart knowledge to you. Thank God you did not go through any of the portals. For while I was bound, both portals instantly kill you.
Ah.
But now that I am free and no more are shackled, you may go through either portal to succeed."
Up to you.
I want to incite him.
Yeah.
He's
I'm not
a
so funny.
cultist. He
like
could be
he's-
bullshitting us.
Oh
Wow.
yeah.
Damn. He speaks entirely truthfully. Had you gone through either of the portals without freeing him, you would have instantly died and ended the session. I'll be honest. I was joking about this earlier, but this was my final like. It's a one shot. I'm gonna like deliberately prey on the party of they're just gonna randomly pick a portal. It doesn't matter which portal they pick though. The rash behavior. They can't 50-50 it. They're gonna instantly die. That's the
It's pretty
secret.
good.
It's not 50-50. It's 100% you will die, regardless of what you pick.
I respect
So-
the game.
So there you go. You didn't immediately go through a portal. You investigated the room, and for that you get to successfully go through the portal without dying.
I still pushed the cultist before me.
I
He
just want
he
to
goes
check
through.
something. Yeah, 13.
That was one hell of an insight check.
Would a 13 have done it?
I mean, you would have thought I would have told you he was telling the truth because hilariously.
Yeah, so it's my decision.
Yep.
Something in
But as you
chains,
enter into the final room,
bound in silver, the something.
Tyrant Tates.
no. For first of all, does anyone speak deep speech?
Yes.
Then you understand the words which are written in deep speech, which in this case is just really annoying typography.
Yeah. I mean,
It's
I can
Yes.
cursive, that's why.
smelled in
cursive.
chains, bound in silver, the
Tyrant.
Morant. The what?
Tyrant, surely.
Is it tyrant? Doesn't look like a Y.
Yeah, but that first T doesn't look really like a T either.
The Thrant.
You can just see the
Tates.
bottom of the
But I
Y.
mean, the grid doesn't really help with it either.
He robbed you of control? Wait, is that he robes you of control?
That's better. Thank you.
Why does he robe you of control?
Take it as
yes,
the
would you
tyrant
like to-
takes but does not give.
Yeah, I think
He
that's
robs
the
you of
dyslexia.
control.
Wait, Rob has a B in it. Does Rob have a B in it?
Yeah, but it doesn't have the E.
It has a B. Yeah, that's a robe. Like a
Oh.
dressing gown. Like
Yeah,
he robes you
that's-
of control. It's like
Yeah.
they put on a robe you and like
That's
now
fair.
you're
That is
mine.
dyslexia.
Yeah,
Ignore the E.
that's
There
a
shouldn't be
dyslexia,
an
that's
E.
fine. I'm still trying to figure out what that first word is. Something in chains.
Chuckled.
I think it's meant to be shackled.
Ah,
Is that an
shackled.
A?
Because the K's seem to be looking like T's.
Yeah, but that is a U. That's shackled.
Yeah, that's shackled in chains. But again, dyslexia, that's fine. Shackled in chains,
to
bound
sell.
in silver.
Spell check more.
I mean, it doesn't like.
Wait, is shackled spelled with an S?
No, yeah.
Yeah, but is that a C? Like chuckled in chains?
Huh, yeah, it is chuckled in chains.
I mean, Elder Control was a
I
whole
got-
different
oh.
vibe.
I mean,
now.
if he didn't laugh, you would cry. So you chuck it
Yeah,
while
in
you're
my
chained.
defense, this was the last map I put together after doing the other three.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna blame
that's
just
how-
wanting to finish it.
Yeah, that's how you'd normally spell shackled.
Oh, that's funny. There you go.
Future
That's,
reference.
That's fine. It's fine.
Hey, I got the cool color scheme down. You like
Yeah.
the color scheme?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's good.
So shackled in chains, bound in silver. The tyrant
Takes but does not
takes,
give.
but does not
He
give.
robs you of control.
That's correct. Neil is correct.
Yeah.
Shackled in chains, bound in silver. The tyrant takes but does not give. He robs you of control. Unless I guess
Doesn't
in
look-
case you haven't,
Yeah.
in case the audience hasn't picked up on this, the entire cult of control believes the gods have stolen control from them. That is the ideology of this cult. Of the gods are the reason why you have no control of your life. Damn it! If it wasn't for those pesky gods, you would be so intelligent and so powerful.
Yeah. It doesn't look like any of those statues are shackled though.
Oh,
No, I think
To be fair, it's because I haven't initiated the room because we're ending here. To give you what actually happens in this, because it's montage. The 10 statues are the statues of the various elders.
I was thinking they were like petrified adventurers.
No, so they represent. I guess technically in their statues form they would be like thingied in chains. But they represent one of the each of the 10 elders. The top one being Control, which for. Has anyone seen the New York Doctor Who Dalek episode?
Yes.
No.
So he looks like the humanoid Dalek.
Ah.
He is a massive kind of like almost like a mind flayer if a mind flayer was mixed with a beholder and a single eye in the center.
That was Doctor Who's Series 3 with Martha, I believe.
Yes. I think it was also I can't remember if that one had angels on as well.
That one didn't, no. It was Angels of New York. That was a
Matt Smith one.
yeah, Matt Smith one with Amy and Rory and River.
But as you enter this room and like a moment or two passes, you look around, you thingy it. This is when descending in a evil halo of radiant light is the angelic form of Ryan, the god of heroes, the most evil of the god pantheons. At least as far as the cult of control is concerned.
So Skrig is going to go, hello, don't be my friend.
You do so. He looks down at you. No, you are beneath me. I am a god. You are nothing but worms. How dare you try to rise up and gain control of your life? You should bow and beg to me, like the pitiful, weak things that you are.
I'm a worm, I'm a dragon!
I was gonna say, Tea Leaf was say like, we're dragons, not worms.
But that is when you guys get into a lovely CR10 combat, where you may die.
Hey, we
and-
one-shotted at CR12.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, you know, not...
That's fair, but you
without
were all level 15, which is higher. Now you're level 5 against CR10, which is you're vastly below. Although I
Yeah.
could have level 5 take on a Balor, so who knows? They won that one somehow. That was so cool. So yes, just imagine you montage, have a fight against Ryan or an impersonator Ryan, because as anyone watching who has ever seen Ryan will know of. No, Ryan's a lovely chap. This guy is very clearly a projection of the cult's insecurity. And all throughout the combat, he just constantly makes reference to how, you know, you lack, he robbed you of control, and how he's the bad guy, and acts like a dictator king. Because the cult is very biased.
Never.
Wait,
Uh,
so can I just double check? To win, do you have to lose?
No, to win you have to defeat Ryan, the evil god.
Okay, I thought you had to be killed by Ryan so the cult could resurrect you and save you.
No, this was just a boss battle final.
Fair enough.
Because that's what the fifth room in, or the fourth room in a dungeon is. It's the boss fight. But yes, we'll just assume you won for the sake of story. Because, you know, it's combat. You guys very rarely ever actually lose to combat. And who knows, if we ever do have spare time, I'll let you guys just do the combat for a session, see if you die. But for now, for all intents and purposes in this reality, you are victorious. You get to go on to the fifth and final room, which is the reward room, which is a very... I don't have a map for that one. Is a very beautiful ceremony where you are anointed into the cult of control under the great Lou Grimm. And that is where we're going to end for the night, because it's 9:45, and I had a deadline of before 10, so I've made it.
Yep.
As far as I'm
Thank you very
concerned,
much.
this one-shot session is concluded.
Nice.
Done in one.
Congratulations
one.
on many
Done.
fronts,
The
Chris.
body of Ryan lays dead at your feet. You have successfully killed a god. Look what you can do with the power of control.
I thought you was
You
going to
two
say the
should-
power of friendship then.
Tea Leaf Tea Leaf Lutz, Ryan.
And you too could, you know, rise up against the gods if you join this cult and unleash the elder beings.
Like, Lou Grimm wants you.
Oh, I need to do more campaigns centered around cults. Don't get to play enough of cult ideology.
Just at the end, I'm going to cast compare languages so I can finally understand what the hell Skrig was talking about.
And just find out he's just speaking common this entire time.
All right, but yes, there you go. That is today's session. That is being... God, what's the title for this? Well, this has been Lou Grimm's Beginner's Guide to the Cult of Control. We got to see some of the ideology behind control. We got to see we gotta test a new game mechanic that I'll be throwing at the party in the future of the social manipulation puzzle.
Yeah.
Get to
But
refine
we
that
have to
one
pay
in the
attention
future.
to NPCs.
Yes.
What a wild concept!
I mean, usually, in fairness, we either adopt them or kill them. So, you know,
Yeah.
how
It's
much
true.
attention do you need to give?
I'll be.
And to be fair, it's why I wanted. I like to try and experiment with new things in one shot, so I wanted to give this room a try. Which is why we spent the most time on it, because it's the one I wanted to playtest the most.
Yeah.
I'll get your feedbacks after we end the session. So thank you all for playing. Thank you all for watching. This has been Alterra. Tune in next time for, I believe, back to the back to the main series.
Yeah.
Should be.
Bob and Jimmy are back.
And good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Night.